This cell that's kind of moving towards the south and east, moving about 33 miles per hour, showing could be some small hail with this, but the rotation is what's really gotten the attention of the Weather Service office there in the Nashville area. So again, let me put a track on this for you. So right through here, looks like it just popped off. Let's try it one more time. We'll get it for you. So that tornado warning, again, that's going to go until, well, it keeps popping off there. Let's do this. I want to go back. We're going to look at it through here. We're going to take a look at this storm that's back across to the west. So this cell that had the rotation with it earlier, again, it looks like it would be probably close to the Gainesboro area, moving towards the south and east. So this would be the center of circulation, sliding towards the south and east. Not quite as impressive as it looked earlier, so we'll still watch it though, again, because these are our counties. Fentress County here, Cumberland County here. It would be approaching that area. It's kind of staying just north of the downtown Cookeville area. I showed you that camera, what it looked like over there at the campus just a minute ago. I'll get another update and show you that, but it looks like it may end up staying just towards the north of that area, which would be good. This is the live look right now. That's in the Cookeville area. This is Tennessee Tech's campus. Seen a lot of lightning off in the distance here earlier, but again, not even raining at this point, showing that that cell is staying just off onto the northern side of that. Let me go back up into southeast Kentucky real quick. We can take a look at this storm. This is the one we've been keeping an eye on that is making its way through southeast Kentucky. This cell right here, kind of right where that little indention is, that would be the main one I'd be keeping an eye on. That would be this tornado warning that goes until 7:45 for Whitley County, so another 22 minutes or so from right now. So let me put a track on that, kind of give you an update of where impacts could be from this. You just need to make sure that you are in your safe area. It's moving southeast about 30 to 35. So like I mentioned earlier, the Clio community, that's right along I-75, that's going to be in the next 9 minutes or so. The Central Intermediate School there in Whitley County, 736. Looks like the high school right around 737, the middle school as well, and Highland Park area around 739 as this slides towards the south and east. Again, these are what we call radar indicated tornadoes. Doesn't mean that there is one, but we are seeing a pretty well-defined center of circulation with that cell as it's moving towards the south and east, so pretty close to the I-75 corridor. Looks like the one to the north, maybe not quite as pronounced as what it looked like earlier, but still something I need to keep a close eye on. I still think that is the more potent cell, the more pertinent cell east of the Honeybee area, but it looks like right near Corbin, we could still have some weak circulation with that cell right through here. So right there near is that Dorothy? And the campgrounds area, I'm going to turn off the lightning so we can see it a little bit earlier. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about right there between North Corbin, the Dorothy area, and campgrounds. So right through there would be that center of circulation, that storm. So probably just south of the Fletcher area, but I would still make sure you're kind of in your safe area with any of these communities you see popped up here on this map. But definitely the more interesting storm would be the one to the south right there between the Funston area and Honeybee, as this is moving southeast again at about 35 miles per hour. So a track there. And then again, to let you know that this tornado warning is for Whitley County. That's going to go until 7:45, so another 20 minutes from right now as that slides towards the south and east. Now, quickly, what I want to do is kind of give you an idea of what we're expecting as we go through the rest of the evening. That's a live look at the one in Putnam County, which is to the west. We do have the active warnings. Again, it's getting a little bit closer now to our coverage area. There's Cumberland, there's Fentress, so we'll watch as that storm continues to track towards the east. But this is that cell we're watching back into Middle Tennessee, still showing some rotation with it as it's sliding towards the south and east. Kind of hard to tell, but there's Livingston, there's all red, so this is our Fentress County, Cumberland County border, so not far away from there. Hardy, 628, Okolona, that's around 634, and Union Hill at 634. Not quite in our viewing area, but it's getting very, very close. Let me kind of put this into motion. You can kind of see where these storms are moving. This is a wider perspective, so we're watching that cell getting close to our county areas, Fentress and Cumberland. I would make sure you're going ahead and paying attention to this as well, especially north of Crossville, south of Jamestown with that cell. Elsewhere, not a whole lot going on at this time, but we need to keep a close eye on that cell. And again, the one here into southeast Kentucky, approaching the I-75 area, especially near Clio. There's a tornado warning there for Laurel County, and a little further south, that's going to be for northeastern sections of McCreary McCreary over into Whitley County as well until 7:45. Let me show you kind of what we're expecting here. This is where we are now with the storms that are moving through southeast Kentucky. They're going to drop south and eastward through much of the rest of the region as we go over the next couple of hours. And after about midnight, the majority of this threat is going to be done across the area. Let me play that back for you one more time so you can kind of see an idea of where we're going. Here are the storms in Kentucky, the ones approaching the Plateau. They're sliding southward, so really over the next couple of hours, we'll see opportunities for storms increase here in East Tennessee, especially across the Central Valley, then sliding south and eastward as we go into the mountains. This is 2 o'clock in the morning, and I really think we're going to be done after about the midnight time frame across the region. Let's go back up to the storm again through southeast Kentucky. This is kind of the main one I'm keeping an eye on. Going to get a fresh track on this for you so you can see where we're talking about. It would be that cell right here, blue, red, right next to each other, approaching I-75. So that cell, again, northeastern sections of McCreary County, right into Whitley County. So right on the border there. And again, moving pretty quickly at about 35 miles per hour. Doesn't give you a lot of time to seek shelter. So that's why we go ahead and give you as much time as possible ahead of this cell as it's moving south and east. So there's Cleo again, right along I-75. 7:31, so about 5 minutes from right now. Goldberg, 7:36. Whitley County Central Elementary and the high school at about 7:38, and Rockhold at 7:39. I would say Julep, Perman as well. Make sure you're paying attention to that cell as it's moving off towards the south and east. Let's look at the one a little further to the north. Didn't look quite as impressive in the last scan, but we still have this warning right here. I would say pretty close. Boy, it's really hard to tell. Between campgrounds, gray, maybe some broad rotation there, if that. The stronger cell definitely looked a little further towards the south at this point. Go back quickly. I wanted to show you the Plateau storm. We don't want to ignore that one as it's getting a little bit closer to our viewing area, and it's this cell right through here that's right just still north of the downtown Cookeville area. This is Putnam County, and this would be Cumberland and Fentress, so not quite to our area yet. The last update I had from the Weather Service there in Nashville, they were keeping an eye on it. Didn't look quite as impressive to them in the last scan, but they're going to go ahead and let this ride here for another 15 minutes, it looks like, across our area till 6:45 Central, 7:45 Eastern, and we'll see if that gets extended a little further to the east as well. Looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm watch now that's been issued across the area. That makes sense, and that's going to go until midnight. So let me kind of get a quick idea of where this is. All right, so here's the watch that just came out. So it's going to be the majority of our area. It doesn't include Cumberland and Fentress, but it probably should. But regardless, I think the opportunity for severe storms like the one we're watching to the west. By definition, a severe thunderstorm watch means that conditions are favorable, that it's possible you could see severe storms in and around the watch area. So basically anybody in our viewing area needs to pay attention to this, as there is that possibility for severe storms, as we've been saying, between about now and the midnight time frame. So nothing really has changed from the ideas of what we had earlier throughout the morning. So now we're seeing those storms again approaching portions of the Plateau into Kentucky, Central Valley, where we are here in Knoxville between now and about 9, and then from 9 to about 11, areas to the foothills, into the Smokies, and then much quieter as we go past that into the overnight hours, the way it's looking right now. Yep, just getting updates from the Weather Service. We stay in touch with them. They get in touch with us if we have any questions or updates, and we chat back and forth with them. Quickly, I want to get another look at the storms up here into southeast Kentucky. The active warnings still going to be with these two cells. These are the main ones I'd be watching. It's kind of hard to see right now again with the radar up there in Jackson, Kentucky. Let me switch it back here to the Morristown one. So it would be right here through this cell, right along Highway 90. Approaching the Cleo, Whitley County North Elementary area, so I-75. So that cell still looks like that would be the most interesting one, and then maybe right through here, north of Oak Grove Elementary. So if you're in Corbin, Wilton, Gray, Arkell, let's make sure you're in your safe spot. And then also if you live right along or just west of I-75, so from Goldbug to Cleo, up through Rockholds and Oak Grove, the elementary school area there. Quickly, I'll put a track on that again for you so you can get an update. This warning officially goes for another 15 minutes. Not an update from them yet if they're going to extend it. They're probably just going to wait and see how it kind of plays out here. But again, nothing much has changed. Cleo around 735. It's right about the Youngs Creek area now, as we expect. I want to look quickly at what they were saying up there in Kentucky. So no update from them either at this point. They're just going to kind of wait and see. Yeah, so basically they're still just watching the same thing like I was just mentioning. This cell that's west of I-75, near Cleo, and this one that's pretty close to the Corbin area still needs to make sure you're kind of in that safe area as well. I don't want to ignore the one that's back towards the west, but I did want to point out we don't have a whole lot else going on immediately in our area, but we are keeping an eye on that storm back there that is approaching the Plateau. That would be the one that would be the biggest concern. It doesn't look quite as pronounced as it did earlier. The last couple of scans, there's very weak rotation with it, or a very broad, let's say, rotation with it. So we'll see. They're probably going to let that expire here coming up in the next 10 minutes, 12 minutes or so as that storm approaches the Plateau, but it's still worth watching, at least here over the next, say, 15 minutes or so. Back to the one in southeast Kentucky real quick. Let's look. This cell is also interesting. That's going to be just out of our viewing area, but the one here that's up in Leslie County, Kentucky, showing a little bit of what we call an inflow notch. Could be a brief spin up there, but that's out of our viewing area. The main ones we're still keeping an eye on are further towards the south, through portions of Whitley County into Knox County, Kentucky as well, and that goes until 7:45. So the two cells there, I would say especially right over I-75 would be the main one I'd be keeping a close eye on at this point. So this cell right here looks like near Youngs Creek, 738, Oak Grove Elementary, 745, the Faber community at 749, and Woodbine at 753. If it holds together, Siler could be in your area towards the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. But again, officially, the tornado warning goes until 7:45 for the two different cells here. Let me focus on the one to the north for just a second. So again, two separate cells, but impacting some of the same counties into southeast Kentucky. So this one's near Tuttle, right around 740, the Gibbs community up there in Kentucky, not in North Knox County, but in Kentucky at 743. It looks like Hinkle around 750 and Woolham around 750 as well. I'd say heads up Crane's Nest, the Girdler Elementary area, and Blue Hole. If you're kind of in that region, you need to make sure you're in your safe area as well as these storms are moving off towards the south and east. Now, there is a report, a spotter did have a report of a possible tornado with the cell that was back near north of the Cookeville area. So it would be with this cell that we were keeping a close eye on as well. So maybe north of the Cookeville area, something to watch again as it's getting a little closer to our coverage area. Wanted to see if we can take a look. This is again a live look from Putnam County. That is Tennessee Tech's campus. The wind definitely picking up, as you can see, with the flags blowing. Earlier I was seeing quite a bit of lightning showing up with this, but not seeing as much right now. But the storm would be just to the north of that campus the way it's looking. So the active warnings we have the two tornado warnings that go for another 10 minutes or so till 7:45 across southeast Kentucky, and the one into Overton and Putnam counties right there on the border between the two of those also going here to the top of the hour. That one goes until 6:45 Central or 7:45 Eastern, and the ones up in Kentucky, again, same time frame, 7:45 Eastern. That's Knox County, also northern sections of Knox, and just about out of McCreary County now, so it's basically northern Whitley up into Knox County into Kentucky. So let me quickly go back. I know I'm switching back and forth, but you have to do that when you're covering both sets of tornado warnings that are impacting portions of our viewing area. So these are the ones we're keeping an eye on. The tornado warning we have here farther to the north of the Barberville area, that's going to be northern sections of Knox County into Kentucky, and some of the areas that could be impacted there would be Crane's Nest, 741, Girdler 744, Hammond around 754, and Ogle around 757. That's moving east at almost 40 miles per hour, pretty close to the Arkell area right now, so make sure you're in your safe spot there. The other cell we're keeping on a little further to the south, it would be this one right here. That one looks to be the more potent to me just by looking at it. There's a fresh update, so pretty close to I-75 as we speak. And this is going to be also right on the Knox and Whitley County borders there in southeast Kentucky. So Walden 739, Faber 741, Rockhold 744, Perkins 749, and Rosslyn around 752. I know some of you may be wanting or expecting local programming, but again, it is our policy. If we have a severe or a tornado warning rather, in our viewing area, we stay on the air until the threat is over, and it's not quite done yet. At least another 10 minutes, we're watching this one. This definitely looks to be the more potent of the two cells that I'm keeping an eye on in southeast Kentucky. Pretty close to the Walden area right now. At minimum, you're going to have some pretty gusty winds. That light blue showing up to almost purple. Those are going to be winds that are getting pretty close to about 50 miles per hour or higher. So at minimum, we could be talking about that crossing I-75 into southeast Kentucky. A little further to the west, let's take a look. The next storm, this is a severe thunderstorm from McCreary County, so it's kind of along that same line that we're seeing coming out of central Kentucky east of Monticello, so already a severe thunderstorm warning there. It's more of a linear fashion compared to the individual cells like we were seeing earlier that could produce the tornadoes back there a little further to the north across northern Whitley and into portions of Knox County into Kentucky. All right, let me show you again. Let's keep an eye on this. I've not seen any other update than what they had earlier of a storm spotter saying there was a possible tornado north of the Rickman area. So again, this is not quite in our viewing area, but it's getting close. Again, this is Fentress County. This is northern Cumberland County. There's Elmore, the Rennie Community Clark Range, which is southern Fentress. There's Allert and Tench. So we're watching to see if this holds together as it pushes to the east. Just another, 9 minutes until that warning officially expires. Not seeing an update. They're basically just saying very broad rotation with that. So I agree. We didn't see anything that really tight couplet-wise that was showing up with that storm compared to what we had earlier, but something we needed to watch. Now let me show you again the one up into Kentucky, because this is the one that's probably impacting a little more of our viewers as we speak. So there's Williamsburg right along I-75. This storm is right through Whitley County, right along Interstate 75, pretty close to Walden, Faber 746, Wilton 755, and Arkell right around 804. So two different cells we're watching. Of the two, that one that's heading right along I-75 as we speak has a little bit more punch to it. But I'll quickly put a track on the one to the north near Arkell. That's near Crane's Nest at 745, Woolham 751, Ogle right around 801 as well. Meteorologist Matt Condon has joined me as well. And Matt, as we expected, these storms really started to ramp up even after sunset, just because we have enough instability and a cold front pushing through to really spark off some of the storms here in the area.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. And this is also the area where you may have noticed a lot of sunshine this afternoon. That allowed temperatures to get well up into the 70s. We'll focus in on the storms in southeast Kentucky for now. Ken, you can communicate more with the National Weather Service. We'll give you a break for just a second. So we have two different tornado warnings in effect in parts of southeast Kentucky. We're watching Whitley County for one storm where the area of rotation is approaching I-75. You can see where the lightning strikes showing up here and also the reds and the greens coming together. That's telling us this is an area of rotation. So keep that in mind. You know, someone traveling at this hour potentially along I-75, maybe headed down towards Knoxville or headed north towards Lexington, Kentucky. You want to give them a heads up. There is a tornado warning in effect, and it does include I-75 in Whitley County, and that area of rotation is approaching the interstate at this hour. The second cell we're watching is in Knox County, Kentucky. Once again, seeing the reds and the greens coming together. Northern part of the county near Barberville. You want to pay attention to that storm as well. We're going to try and zoom up just a little bit here, because it does look like we potentially have another tornado warning that was just issued that may clip parts of Harlan County. So let's focus in on this one for just a second. I'm going to move the monitor, so excuse me for 1 second, because this one was just issued for, and it does include parts of Harlan County until 8:15 tonight. So this cell is moving into Harlan County. So this will be along, I believe, Highway 119 in Harlan County, headed in that direction, the route that runs right through Harlan County. So the city of Harlan, you're not included under the tornado warning at this point. This would be just north of that area where we're also seeing the reds and the greens coming together. And this specific tornado warning is the newest one for southeast Kentucky, in effect until 8:15. So if you're keeping track, at this point we have 3 different tornado warnings in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. 3 different areas of rotation that we're watching. So we're watching that one in Harlan County closely. We're watching northern Knox County, Kentucky as well, near Barberville, and then back further to the west through Whitley County along I-75, where we have an additional tornado warning. So if you are in this tornado warning polygon, if you are in the northern part of Whitley County, Kentucky, the northern part of Knox County, Kentucky, and also in the northern part of Harlan County, Kentucky, where we're just seeing this sliver of Harlan County included in this tornado warning, you want to be taking your tornado precautions. What those are: lowest level of your house, get a room with no windows. Usually it's a bathroom or a closet. Centermost room. Good idea. Put on a bike helmet, football helmet, baseball helmet. Protect your head and neck as these storms continue to traverse through parts of our area. Right now, at this point, the latest radar scans, I would have to say that the one in Knox County, Kentucky looks like the strongest one. You can see the pulses of lightning that are showing up and the reds and the greens coming together very closely. Ken, if we can toss it back to you so we can get in a zoomed in look at these storms in southeast Kentucky as well.
Yeah, keeping a close eye really on everything across the area. We're actually getting some reports a little further to the west with the cell that we were watching earlier back through portions of Putnam County of some debris, maybe a possible tornado touchdown, hard to say, but it would be north of the Cookeville area. This cell continues to push east. Again, we're watching carefully to see if anything gets extended into Fentress or Cumberland County, which is our responsibility here at WATE. Those are our Plateau counties that we have viewership in. But again, we've been focusing on the Putnam County one because we know a lot of people have children that attend portions of college over there at Tennessee Tech. I wanted to show you, these are the active warnings we have. Again, Matt's been focusing on the ones into southeast Kentucky, also back along the Plateau, but did want to point out a new severe thunderstorm watch did get issued for the majority of our area that goes until midnight. We talked about that, the threat basically now through about midnight, and then will be quieter. Even though you're not included portions of our Plateau down through the Southern Valley, you still need to make sure that you are aware that you have the possibility of severe thunderstorms. Basically, a watch means in and around the watch area, there's the potential for severe storms. So we will be watching that as well. Quickly, I wanted to go back to southeast Kentucky, the ones that Matt were showing you earlier. That same storm right through here. This seems to be I'd say the couple that have the best bit of rotation right through there and right through there. The storm that just crossed I-75, I've got a feeling they'll probably extend this as these warnings are about to expire here in the next couple of minutes. So we'll see if they do. I would not be surprised if it went a little further to the south and east, probably to join up with this polygon to the north. But again, 2 separate cells we're keeping an eye on, and then the one a little further to the north as well up towards Harlan County. But this one that's headed towards Faber, it's right across the interstate right now on I-75. So Faber right about now, Woodbine 748, Rosslyn 758, and Arkell right around 759 the way it's looking. People are asking, again, they're checking in back towards, let's see what they did with this one. If they issued, okay, they did go ahead and extend the warning now for Cumberland County, kind of what we expected, that they would go ahead and shift that a little further towards and Fentress. Okay, thank you, Matt. Yep, there it is. It just updated. So it's going to clip northern sections of Cumberland and go into Fentress County. So again, it's about to expire, the old warning right here, 7:45, but they went ahead and extended it a little further east, and those are going to go until 7:15 Central or 8:15 Eastern time. So again, we're going to stay on the air because this could impact people along portions of the plateau. I know it may not affect you if you live in and around the valley or areas to the east, but these storms are most likely going to continue to progress eastward as we go over the next couple of hours and could produce additional tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and or damage. And again, it's nighttime, which makes it a lot harder to pinpoint where these storms would be just by looking outside. And that's the last thing you want to do. Of course, you want to make sure you're in a safe area. So I'd say right through here, that might be our best opportunity for seeing rotation. Right through there, I'll put a track on this, and these have been moving towards the southeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So looks like we start to get to Vine Ridge at 6:48. All these will be central times. Again, Cumberland and Fentress counties are in the central time zone, while Knoxville, we are in the eastern time zone. So that's 6:46 central or 7:46 right about now, 2 minutes from now, 650 Central Davidson, and Wilder right around 651. So again, if you live near Campground, Hanging Limb, Crawford, that storm is kind of moving right in your direction. It's very broad rotation where the red and the gold are close to each other. It's kind of not packed close together, but still close enough. We need to pay attention to that. So that's why the warning, the tornado warning, got extended, especially into Fentress County. So this does not include downtown Crossville. This does not include the Fairfield Glade community at this time. It would be areas just to the north of that. But we have been seeing some rain in and around portions of Cumberland County. This is a live look. This is Putnam County. So that storm has just moved to the east now of Putnam County. That's where the warning was earlier. I want to show you what it looks like in Cumberland County right now. This is our camera that's atop City Hall in downtown. It had some rain in the area, so the storm we're watching is still well to the north and west, but we'll check back with this as we go over, next hour or so to see if anything changes. But this would be the area of circulation, very broad, but that's the concern about to cross over the Fentress County border. Again, it's north of I-40, so I'd say even north of the downtown Crossville area as we speak. But that storm crossing over into Fentress County would be the main one we're going to watch. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the ones on the Plateau, and I'm going to let Matt talk about the ones up into southeast Kentucky. And again, just wanted to point out the majority of our area is under severe thunderstorm watch as well. That goes until midnight. But that means that there is also the possibility we could have some isolated tornadoes like we have seen, Matt.
I can. And we just want to be cognizant of there is a chance still that we could see additional strong to potentially severe storms as we head through the next several hours. So let me take you back to southeast Kentucky. We talked about we're watching several different thunderstorms. So at this point, at this hour, we have one tornado warning in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. It includes Leslie County. It's mostly the area of rotation is in Leslie County at this point. But notice how it does include parts of Harlan County, Kentucky. So if you live north of the Everett's community, you want to be taking tornado precautions. We will continue to watch this area of rotation. We had the other tornado warnings in effect. Those have expired, but we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Likely that there is a tornado possible tag on these severe thunderstorm warnings. So it is a good idea to just make sure you're inside right now. You may not be under that official tornado warning anymore, but these storms can strengthen up very quickly. And notice we're looking at the rotation detector where we're seeing areas of rotation. And we still have rotation coming out of Whitley County now, moving back into Knox County. And then this was the other storm we're watching in Knox County, Kentucky, that still has a lot of lightning with it. And we watch closely, see how there's just a shading of maroon here? Well, this indicates potentially strong rotation. So we need to watch these storms closely. You should already be in your tornado precautions because we already were watching those storms for when they did have a tornado warning on them. But I would still be in your tornado safe spot if you are getting impacted by these storm systems right now through Knox County, Kentucky, so north of Barberville. So north of Barberville to the northern part of Knox County, Kentucky, still seeing areas of rotation here as well. We're also watching the one back to the west, moving through Whitley County. So now that area of rotation is now east of I-75, so it's moved beyond the interstate now. And notice that severe thunderstorm warning goes right to the interstate there. So that's the edge of the severe thunderstorm warning. But we're still seeing areas of rotation moving through parts of Whitley County. And just to orient you, this is north of Williamsburg. Williamsburg, you're not under any sort of severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning, but Barberville you are. We're going to zoom back into the one here in Knox County, Kentucky, because we are now once again seeing evidence of potentially stronger rotation. Where we see this rotation detector pop up, it looks like a beer can. Now we know that the storm is potentially strengthening up once again. So if you live in this part of Knox County, Kentucky, and to be clear, we're talking about Knox County in southeast Kentucky, not Knox County, Tennessee. This is where we have area of rotation, still a lot of thunder and lightning with this storm system, and the potential's there for even the rotation to quickly strengthen up. So severe thunderstorm warning in place right now. I would still be in your tornado safe place, especially for areas to the east. So DeWitt moving over towards Field. And keep in mind that this severe thunderstorm warning does include parts of Bell County, Kentucky. At this point, Middlesboro, you're not under an official warning, but we'll watch it closely. Those warnings are north of your area, headed up towards Pineville, the northern part of Bell County. So we continue to monitor the tornado warning, also including parts of Harlan County. That goes until 8:15 this evening. But you can see that area of rotation, again, is back in parts of Leslie County, but continuing to push to the east. So we'll watch these closely as they continue to move through our area as we head through the night. So we have the tornado warning still in effect again for parts of Harlan County, but we need to watch the one especially moving through Knox County, Kentucky very closely, as there's evidence of potentially a strengthening up there. Yeah, Ken.
Let you focus. It looks like a new warning is about to come out for Bell, Harlan, and also look like maybe into Knox.
Exactly what we were just
Kentucky.
talking about.
Yeah, so they extended that, but I want to. He's going to check on that. But let's talk about the one again that's making its way into Fentress County, pretty close to the border right now. This is Fentress County. So there's Wilder, there's Campground, there's Rennie, there's Elmore, and then this is northern sections of Cumberland County. So it just barely clips northern Cumberland, but heads up Rennie to Genesis northward. We'll need to focus on. Again, it's hard to tell where anything is here, right? It's because it's rain wrapped. There's a lot of rainfall, so it would be wrapping or hiding any type of circulation. So what we do is we look inside the storm, and you can see it's kind of broad rotation, but where the darker gold and the reds are close together, that would be our area that we'd be focusing on, and then we can clean it up even more and show you exactly where that rotation would be. So between about Bonsack and the Cravenstown area over to Wilder, so right on the border again between Fentress County and back to the west into right on the Putnam and Overton County borders. So Campground 656, again, these are all central time zones. 706 Jonesville, Roslyn 706, and then we start to get into eastern time zones. That's going to be stretching westward into Morgan County. So Roslyn's there right on the border between Morgan and Fentress County. So they are still central time zone there at 706. But when you get to Adkins Mill, 813 right through here, and then we've got Bucklick, that's at 814, and Flat Rock at 814. So we're starting to make our way. That would be into Morgan County if this were to hold together. But the immediate area we need to be watching for, right on the border between Fentress and portions of Overton County. So heads up the Wilder community. Please make sure you're in your safe spot as we speak. Let me just kind of quickly give you an overview of the rest of the area. There's not a whole lot going on at this time in and around the Knox County area southward, but these storms back towards the west are what's sliding into a more favorable environment, kind of like what we've been talking about throughout the day. So additional storms certainly are possible as we go over the next couple of hours, and we really haven't changed much in our thinking of that timing. So we're seeing those now across the plateau up into Kentucky between now and say 9 o'clock. So over the next hour, possibly making their way through portions of Morgan, Anderson, Roane, and then after 9, getting a little bit closer into the foothills, into the Smokies, and then basically by midnight, these storms will have moved through much of the area. So the active watches that we have, which means conditions are favorable, we could see some additional storm development. That's everybody shaded in orange, but I know Fentress, Cumberland, you're not included, Bledsoe, Ray, Meigs, McMinn, Monroe, but you need to make sure you're paying attention as well. We'll just say everybody in our area has that potential to see some severe thunderstorms, possibly even a few isolated tornadoes as we go through the evening. But it looks like, again, the greater threat may certainly be along and especially north of the I-40 corridor over the next couple of hours. Will more develop to the south? We'll have to wait and see. A lot of the forecast model data we've been keeping an eye on is showing at least that possibility. Let's take a look real quick here. So from where we are right now here in the 7 o'clock hour, our storms are sliding to the south and east, stopping at 10 o'clock. They're kind of pushing east of the Knoxville area. So that timing we had of 9 to 11 areas east, probably still going to hold up. And then once we're past about the midnight time frame, things will be much quieter across the area. But we do need to focus back on those storms in Kentucky as well. All those warnings are scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can get the updates there. But let's check back on those Kentucky storms now with Matt.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Kentucky storms for just a minute, Ken. We're likely going to have several more viewers joining us. A tornado warning is about to be issued for parts of Morgan County. So we're just going to briefly touch on this warning, and then we'll send it back to Ken to talk about the tornado warning across the plateau that is going to be expanded to include Morgan County in just a second here. Okay, we're focused in on Knox County, Kentucky. We have several tornado warnings in effect in parts of our area. So this is Knox County, Kentucky. If you live near in DeWitt, you live near Flat Lick Elementary School, you want to be in your safe place, also towards Scalf and Arrows. This is headed up from Knox County into the northern part of Bell County. This tornado warning does not include Middlesboro. It is really from Pineville to the north. So that's where we're watching, where there is evidence of some stronger rotation. We watched that VTI, Virtual Threat Index, at a 2.7 right now, a stronger storm, and the radar is estimating that also hail size, roughly an inch in diameter. So this is a pretty strong storm that continues to push to the east. So if you live in Knox County, Kentucky, at this point you want to be taking your tornado precautions. We're going to move this over for just a second so you can see Barberville, you've been trimmed outside of this tornado warning at this point. It's really for folks east of Barberville at this point through Knox County, Kentucky. You want to be taking your safe place. So Hammond, 8:04, that's the estimated arrival time. Beverly, 8:22, and Gardner, 8:22 as well. So this tornado warning does continue until 8:15 this evening. You want to be taking your tornado precautions. Again, lowest level, most interior room, put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. Still seeing strong evidence of rotation here. And again, we're still monitoring the other tornado warning that's in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. It does include parts of Harlan County. Now this one doesn't look as strong as the Knox County storm, but we'll continue to monitor it. This tornado warning as well continues until 8:15 and includes parts of Leslie County, Kentucky, but also parts of Harlan County as well. I'll keep a close eye on the storms moving through southeast Kentucky, but Ken, let's send it back on over to you if we can, because we do have that tornado warning now in effect for parts of Morgan County.
Yeah, Matt, southern Fentress, and it's going to extend into Morgan, kind of like what we were talking about, but the immediate threat. Probably some of the best rotation we've seen so far this evening. Again, it's kind of far away from the radar site, so it's rotation aloft or higher in the atmosphere, but still interesting to see this kind of rotation this close together, even at that elevation. What I mean by it is the height. We're basically looking at this point, the elevation of the radar beam is about 7,500 feet up in the air. So it is pretty high up, but still pretty interesting to see that bit of rotation right there into Fentress County. So heads up Jonesville, probably right on the top of you right now. Again, the new warning got extended. We mentioned Morgan County, that goes until 8:30. The one into Fentress County goes till 7:15. Yeah, 7:15 Central or 8:15 our time, so another 20 minutes there. That would be right there, the strongest circulation with that part of the storm. That would be the thing I would be most concerned about right through there. So clean it up a little bit so you can see right through there. Starting to see that moderate getting closer to the stronger rotation. Again, radar beam's a little high in the atmosphere as it's coming from the Hamlin County area of Morristown, but still pretty impressive that you can see rotation showing up that pronounced, that high up in the atmosphere. So it's a pretty potent storm. So again, the active warnings we have goes a little bit longer, 7:15 Central Time, that's 8:15 our time, and then also into Morgan County, that got extended till 8:30. So Roslyn, make sure you're in your safe spot. Adkins Mill, anything you see in the 8 o'clock hour, that's going to be in the Morgan County side as we're switching from Central into Eastern time zone. So Bucklick, also Flat Rock, 8:08, Stowers, about 8:10, Holland Ford, 8:12, and the Glades community at about 8:12 as that pushes to the east. We'd also need to keep a close eye on places like Sunbright as well, down through Annandale, as this is moving right through south central sections of Fentress County. So Allert, Jamestown, you're not included in this warning. I think the worst of this cell is going to stay off to your south, but if you have any neighbors, you know anybody that lives down there, make sure that they are in their safe spot as well. And this is going to be kind of the leading edge. This one cell we've kept a close eye on. It's tracked from basically just east of Gallatin all the way north of Cookville. So it's held together. It's what we call a supercell storm, where these can develop by themselves and they feed off the surrounding energy. You don't have like a line of thunderstorms that helps to eat that up. So odds are this is going to be holding together as it continues to make its way to the east. So we'll have to continue to watch this, especially southern Scott and northwest Anderson County, probably over the next hour to hour and a half as it pushes to the east at this point. But south central sections of Fentress County, still a pretty good opportunity, I'd say, that we have at least some broad rotation with us and a possible tornado, which is why the warning still is ongoing here. So I'll put a track on this for you one more time. This cell, I'd say the worst part is probably right through here. So if it's moving southeast, there's a new update. It looks like that last scan, the rotation not quite as tight as it was, but there is still a bit right through here. So that area would be the most concerning, I'd say. So Banner Springs to Roslyn, it's moving right over the border between southern Fentress over into Morgan County as we speak. So Stowers at 8:11. Again, any of these 8 o'clock time zones are going to be into Morgan County. Matt, any other updates on those storms into southeast Kentucky? Don't want to ignore those completely, but how are they looking compared to the ones on the plateau?
Yeah, so we still have 2 tornado warnings in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. Also watching this one starting to pulse up a little bit more now south of the Barberville area. Severe thunderstorm warning continues on it. No tornado warning, but there's likely a tornado possible tag on the severe thunderstorm warning. Just catching my eye, the last couple of radar scans, it's pulsed up a little bit. We'll continue to watch that. I did receive a report of, quote, heavy hail in parts of Barberville. So someone was going to go out and get a measurement, but I can try and flip back over to the hail path, and you can see we have the one storm moving through Barberville right now, tracking with hail through northern Whitley County. We also have the other storm, hail, tracking back towards Corbin, and the other storm with our tornado warning that is moving into Harlan County. So there's likely also some large hail, which can result in some damage moving through this area. That's also why we have the severe thunderstorm warnings, because an inch size hailstone in diameter or larger is a severe hailstone and can cause damage. So we'll watch the hail threat as well. But utmost concern right now is the active tornado warnings that are in effect for parts of the area. We still have this one that's in effect for parts of Knox County approaching Bell County. So if you live in Beverly, I want you to be taking your tornado precautions. Hopefully you're already there. To Tackytown as well. And we still have this active tornado warning in parts of Harlan County. So we're focused on these 2 right now. And really, I want you to take tornado precautions because you may have heard earlier this morning, we had some severe thunderstorms move through parts of central Kentucky. And there were reports of some tornadoes that touched down earlier this morning. So it's already been an active severe weather day, particularly in parts of Kentucky. So I want you to take these storms pretty seriously as they continue to move through the area. Main concern is really this tornado warning that still has been maintaining areas of rotation. At this point, I have no confirmation that a tornado is on the ground or has touched down, but you want to treat it like it is. We just want to make sure you are in the absolute safest place possible. So DeWitt, Scalf, over towards Field, you want to be taking tornado precautions. That continues through the northern part of Bell County. Keep in mind, the tornado warning does not include Pineville, and it does not include Middlesboro as well. At this point, Pineville, Middlesboro, you're not under a tornado warning. This is for the northern part of Bell County at this point, headed towards Harlan County as well. So the area of rotation is back to the west, but if it was to stay on its path, the city of Harlan, you want to be thinking about your tornado safe spot, because if this storm holds together, and at this point it likely will, you want to be ready to execute your safety plan. We still do have the tornado warning up to the north, and that does include parts of Harlan County, but you can see the one that looks more impressive is still in parts of Knox County, Kentucky, approaching the northern part of Bell County as well. So we're looking at the winds. We have the winds going towards the radar, winds going away from the radar. That's where your area of rotation is. We can also we can dissect the different abilities through the radar. Now we're looking at rotation. You can see this storm is rotating, and also there is some pavement pounding rain with this storm system, and also that threat for hail. And that's not even just where the tornado warning is. Notice it includes all of southeast Kentucky. Heavy rainfall moving through this area. We'll also monitor the risk for some localized flooding as well. But at this point, we'll continue to monitor the risk for a tornado to potentially touch down in parts of Knox County, Kentucky, Bell County, and then moving into Harlan County. This is where your area of rotation is. At this point, it is very close to crossing into the northern part of Bell County, so you want to make sure you are in your tornado safe place at this hour. As we have a storm system that is capable of producing a tornado, the environment is favorable for it to produce a tornado, and we're still seeing evidence of rotation, and the reds and the greens are coming together. So it's right on the county line. It's right on the county line. Knox County here, Bell County here. Rella, want to be in your safe place. Field as well. Arrows as well, into your safe place. Tackytown and over towards the Cold Royne community. You want to be in your safe place at this hour, as this tornado warning does continue until 8:15. we still have several more minutes of this active tornado warning to remain in effect, and still seeing evidence of potentially some stronger rotation. Again, starting to move outside of Knox County, Kentucky. It's already moved past Barberville, but we'll continue to watch for potentially some broad rotation. Still seeing the reds and the greens in the area of Barberville. So we could see, this was a storm that did produce a tornado warning just a few minutes ago. The rotation doesn't look as impressive with that storm system, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning because we still could see 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and also some large hail. The tornado warning does continue for parts of Knox County, Kentucky, Bell County, and also Harlan County. We're just repeating ourselves as folks tune in at different times. We still have this tornado warning in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky, and we do cover counties in Kentucky, so we want to make sure everyone in our viewing area is staying safe as these storms continue to push through the area. So 8:04 this evening, we do have the active tornado warning still in effect, and just got the latest radar scan, and also where we start to see the strong evidence of maybe some stronger rotation developing. So each radar scan, we get a better picture of the storm. Again, we're starting to see that area of rotation moving to the northern part of Bell County, and this tornado warning does continue. It does look like the other tornado warning that did include parts of Harlan County has been taken off the map, so that's some good news there. We will continue to monitor the heavy rain and storms that push through the area. At this point, let me just zoom out to make sure. We only have one tornado warning in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky, and it does include parts of Knox County, but really starting to move it into Bell County right now, and that goes until 8:15 this evening, and we'll watch it. Again, if you live in Harlan, I want you to pay attention to this storm system because it's not too far away. If it holds together, you're likely in the path of this storm system, so we will watch it very closely. We're also watching storms back onto the Plateau through parts of Cumberland, Fentress, and Morgan County. Ken, if we can get an update from you, that would be great for the folks that live out that way.
Yeah, the Harlan County, like you mentioned, has been canceled as of now. Just that one he's keeping an eye on in southeast Kentucky. Wanted to show you, this is downtown Crossville looking to the north. Now, central Cumberland County has not been included in this warning. It's areas to the north, but we do have some reports of power outages in and around Cumberland County, showing up over 1,000 at this point. But again, that could be just a wind because areas to the north is where that warning was, and especially into Fentress County. So let's get an update on that. Still seeing some very broad rotation crossing over now the border between Fentress County here, and this is Morgan County. So we're about to expire the Fentress County one here in the next 9 minutes, if not sooner, as this is about to cross over. But that area right through here, right where the red and greens are getting close together, again, radar beam's a little bit high, but it's still seeing at least some rotation aloft. So impressive to be able to see that far away. Still showing up at least the possibility there of some rotation as well. And as this is moving southeast at about 35 miles per hour, kind of giving an idea of some of the communities that could be impacted. It's very close to the Fentress Morgan County border crossing over right now. So Glades at about 8:13, Deer Lodge 8:16, Pilot Mountain 8:25, Midway as well at about 8:26. Again, that's moving off towards the east. So not too much longer, they'll be able to drop the Fentress County. I would say if you are basically the western half of Fentress County, you're going to be okay. It's just right along, if you live along the border of Morgan and Fentress, you still need to be in your safe area as we speak. This, again, never included Allert or Jamestown, nor did it include downtown Crossville or Fairfield Glade. Here are some of the golf course areas here. It's just to your north, so this is going to kind of split the uprights of those two, but we still need to watch. Heads up Wartburg, Elizabeth, as this is kind of heading in your direction. And I would say even southern sections of Scott County and possibly even Campbell and northwest Anderson over the next hour if this cell continues to hold together as it's sliding to the south and east. So something worth watching there. Want to show you again a wider perspective. This is kind of all we have at this point is this singular cell that we've been tracking over the past 45 minutes to an hour, coming just north of the Nashville area, sliding almost north of Interstate 40. It's kind of running parallel to that. But that would be this cell that we're keeping an eye on. Could be some small hail with that. I was interestingly looking at the path of where some hail could be with that storm. There wasn't a whole lot showing up. Maybe some very small hail, but nothing like what Matt was tracking areas to the north earlier as this storm was going through southeast Kentucky, but still seeing that potential right through there. All right, just get an update from Morris, or back into Nashville rather, asking if they're going to basically expire that warning into Fentress County as it's almost out, but it only goes for another 7 minutes there anyway. But our next one for Western Morgan, that goes until 8:30. So I know, again, it's here at the top of the hour here, a little bit after. You're watching WATE, continuing coverage here of tornado warnings in the area. It's our policy we stay on the air. If there's a tornado warning that threatens our area, we stay until that threat is over. And we know that everybody's safe. So I would say Fentress County now, we're fine. That storm looks like it has moved out of your area, but it is in Morgan County, northwest Morgan County. So that area we need to keep a close eye on. So heads up Sunbright to Wartburg. Let's make sure you're in your safe spot as this is moving southeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So I'm going to put a track on this. We can kind of get an update. So here's some of the areas that could be impacted. Deer Lodge, we're talking about 811. Looks like Annandale 820. Goby at 826, Wartburg at 829, and Oak Hill at about 832. So again, moving towards the east through at least the northern half of Morgan County. Sunbright, make sure you're in your safe spot as well. So basically anywhere from Sunbright down through Wartburg, we need to make sure you're in your safe spot. We'll take a look. Again, what we call broad rotation. It wasn't quite as tight of a couplet, we call it, or the colors weren't right beside each other, kind of like what Matt was seeing up there earlier, but that's still some broad rotation. So again, we're in the middle of the night. It's dark outside. You wouldn't be able to see the funnel if there was one. Plus, we've got some heavy rainfall that's occurring around this. So often what happens is you get what's called a rain-wrapped circulation, or it's raining so hard you wouldn't even be able to see the funnel if it were out there. So we have to rely on Doppler radar to look inside of this storm to see where we have the rotation. So right through here, you can see it updating. That would be our main area of concern. So let's zoom in a little closer. There's Adkins Mill. So it's right over your area now between Flat Rock, Adkins Mill, and Deer Lodge. That would be our area of biggest concern. So south of the Glades area as well. Looks like a new thunderstorm warning's coming out of the southeast Kentucky, Matt, for Bell and Harlan, so you may want to check on that. Again, those are severe thunderstorm warnings, but as we've seen, there has also been the possibility we could at least have some isolated tornadoes with those as well. So at this point, let's go ahead and clear Fentress County. We're okay. You can come out of your safe area. I think probably the severe threat's over, but let's just keep an eye on things over the next little bit. Morgan County is what we really need to focus on, Matt. I'm going to watch this, but let's get an update on our southeast Kentucky storm. We only had one left. Is that correct?
Yes, still have the one tornado warning in effect, but let me walk you through this because the good news, I'm seeing a weakening trend with the storm system, and I believe the National Weather Service in Jackson, Kentucky is as well, because Ken mentioned that new severe thunderstorm warning was issued. Better than a tornado warning, but still, we'll take this storm seriously as it continues to push through Bell County and parts of Harlan County. The reasoning why I think it's weakening is, you notice how the reds and the greens are a bit broader, like Ken was mentioning through parts of Fentress County as well. We will continue to monitor it. The tornado warning does expire in 3 minutes. It does expire at 8:15. So the reds and the greens, a little bit broader. Let me also show you the rotation detector. It's not as impressive as it was when we talked last, just a couple minutes ago. So again, with each radar scan, we're getting a better picture of the storms moving through the area. Still, I want you to be in your safe place. We want a few more scans to take a look, make sure that we are absolutely certain that this storm is weakening, but the last couple of scans have indicated that the storm may be on a downward trend. But we will continue to monitor because there is still plenty of energy for storms to tap into, and they can strengthen up pretty quickly. But at this point, the one that is now moving through again, the northern part of Bell County. So if you're in Knox County, Kentucky, you're fine from the tornado warning. The area of very weak rotation is in the northern part of Bell County. We're not seeing as impressive rotation. The reds and the greens are a bit broader, but still, they're there. We'll monitor it closely. And also, the National Weather Service has expanded the severe thunderstorm warning until 8:45. So we'll continue to watch it together. Again, that tornado warning is set to expire at 8:15 through parts of Bell County and also Harlan County. But still, even though the tornado warning may expire, there can still be some pretty strong winds moving through the area. And also, we still have these storms moving through, and we can go back to the hail path. I know we talked about it earlier, but all the way back through parts of back towards Corbin, Whitley County. I did receive a report in Barville. I talked about, we had a report. We'll let you know the hail size. They're reporting pea to dime size hail. hail. So there's hail that can do some damage as these storms are still on the stronger side. But again, the good news is, at least in the latest couple of radar scans, it looks like this one was weakening. That's still under the tornado warning. We'll watch it as this warning is set to expire at 8:15. There is still some rotation with it, but it's not as strong as it once was. You can see it's a lot more, it's broader, which is good news. As it broadens out, storm weakening just a bit. So we'll watch it closely, but again, the storm can strengthen up pretty quickly. So as it continues to trek through the area, we will continue to monitor it for folks who live in Harlan and Harlan County. But again, that other tornado warning that was in effect for Harlan County has expired. We're no longer under tornado warnings or even severe thunderstorm warnings back through parts of Whitley County and McCreary County as well. In Middlesboro, you're dealing with rain. You likely can hear the thunder, but the threat for damaging winds is north of that area through parts of Bell County. So we continue to monitor the tornado warning, which is set to expire at 8:15, likely going to be replaced with this severe thunderstorm warning. That continues through 8:45. So still, straight line winds can cause damage. Winds gust 60 plus miles per hour. It can knock down trees. It can and it can result in power outages. So you want to take severe thunderstorm warnings just as seriously as tornado warnings. But at this point, the latest radar scans indicating that the storm has weakened slightly, and there you go. The tornado warning that was in effect for parts of Bell County has been taken off the radar, but still, there is evidence of at least weak rotation. So we will continue to monitor this storm system as it continues to move through the area. So just a heads up, there still can be straight line winds through parts of Bell County, Harlan County, but at this point, that is the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. So let's turn our attention back to the Plateau, where we still have that active tornado warning in effect at this hour.
Yeah, Matt, Fentress County's been cleared as expected, so no more tornado warning for you. We're still keeping an eye on Morgan County, at least the western half of it. This goes for another 15 minutes. And again, I know if you're just joining us, maybe looking for some regular programming, we stay on the air if a tornado warning is in our viewing area until everyone is safe. We need to continue to keep a close eye on this. There's some broad rotation right through this area. You can see some of the communities that could be in the path of this. I'll zoom in a little closer. It's right near the Lavender community. There's an update for you right through here, at least at minimum. I'd say some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds possible. Are they reaching the surface? Hard to say, but at least some of that and at least some broad rotation. Again, where you see the reds next to the blues, purples, kind of a wide. They're not really close together, but again, we're looking a little bit high up into the storm. As these get a little closer, especially into eastern Morgan, over into Anderson County, have a feeling we could be seeing this go up. All right, let's see if they extend this. I would not be surprised if this goes a little further to the east, but here I'm going to put another little update on this for you. Matt, I'm going to let you just keep an eye to see if they are going to extend this warning at least a little further to the east. I'd be shocked if they didn't at this point. But Annandale at about 820, Pilot Mountain 822, heads up Lansing. That's going to be at 824, Wartburg at 830, and Mahan Village around 838. So these are the estimated times. So we're extending past where this warning is, kind of in anticipation that they could extend this, as we're still seeing some decent rotation showing up with this, albeit on the broader side. But do you see where the darker red is starting to show up? That's indicating at least some stronger rotation as this is going right through central sections of Morgan County. So let me zoom in once again. We get a little bit closer idea of what we could be talking about. South of Lavender, there's Deer Lodge Highway, and this is Bart Woolham Road. So if you know where Deer Lodge Highway is and Bart Woolham Road, this is kind of the area where we'd be seeing some of the possible tighter rotation. So heads up Rome Road right there. So there we are. It's right over Rome Road as we speak, headed towards Morgan County Highway and the Annandale community. Matt, I'd really be shocked if they did not extend this warning here shortly, as this is about to move out of the area. But that's some of the best rotation we've seen. Again, it's getting closer and closer to our radar beam that's in Hamblin County. Remember, of course, the way the curvature of the earth is, as the radar beam goes up and out, it goes higher in elevation. So you're seeing kind of the tops of the storms the farther out you go. But as that storm gets closer to the radar beam, you're getting a better sampling of the lower levels where a tornado could occur. So that's kind of what we're keeping an eye on here. decent rotation anyway, headed towards Pilot Mountain and Annandale. Make sure you're in your safe spot. I would say Sunbright as well. Let's go ahead and be in our safe spot. I think the majority of this could be to your south, at least the rotation-wise. But boy, there's a lot of rain. And where you're seeing the pinkish purple showing up, there could be some hail with this. Let's look quickly. It looks like there may have been a little hail with this earlier near the Glades area, north of Stowers, but probably not as much. So this is telling me it's probably more of just some rotation that we're seeing at this point. Matt, any update from Morristown about whether they're going to extend this, as we're getting kind of right on the edge of where that would be? So again, quickly, Annandale, Goby, 828, Mahan Village at 839, and Fork Mountain around 846. We're kind of extending this out, maybe even into northwestern sections of Anderson County at the end.
And let me interrupt you for just a second. Yeah. The new warning downstream is coming, so it'll pop up there in just a second. So
makes
keep
sense.
Going.
Yeah.
You're on the right track.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? We're still seeing that decent tight rotation south of the Sunbright area. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer, and you'll probably see it pop up any second now. But Annandale to Pilot Mountain, let's make sure you're in your safe spot as we speak. There's Morgan County Highway running right through here, Pilot Mountain Road. So this cell about to cross out of the warning area, which they will extend soon, coming up in a minute. But officially this were to go for another 10 minutes. But as Matt said, they're about to extend it a little further. We'll see how far east it goes. Maybe it includes western sections of Morgan County. We'll see. But here are the immediate threats as we're talking now. So Annandale right about now, Pilot Mountain as well. So anywhere along Morgan County Highway and Pilot Mountain Road where they intersect, you need to make sure you're in your safe spot as this continues to move off towards the east. Again,
Ken, the warning is about to pop up there, but I just want to mention briefly, we're tracking the same storm in southeast Kentucky. A brand new tornado warning was just issued. It does include Harlan until 8:45. We talked about a couple radar scans. It looked like it was weakening. We got a couple more. It looks like it's strengthening once again. So if you live in Harlan, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. Once again, we have a tornado warning in effect and includes parts of Harlan County, included the city of Harlan up towards Bledsoe in southeast Kentucky, Tackytown as well. If you're in this area, I want you to be taking tornado precautions at this hour. We do have a tornado warning in effect for parts of Bell County as well as Harlan County until 8:45. So we have one tornado warning in effect in southeast Kentucky. We have a new one that was just issued for parts of the Plateau. Ken, let's go back to you to get a look at that one.
I didn't hear what you said. I had the producer talking to me, Matt.
We have the new tornado warning.
Yes. Got extended a little further south down into portions of northwest Anderson County. What I'm focusing on is right there between Pilot Mountain and Annandale. What we can do is we can actually look, and it looks like there may have been what we call a debris signature that showed up with this. It's hard to tell. Do you see that bright blue in that last scan? That would have been at 8:19, so just a couple of minutes ago. So I'm kind of cycling back and forth. So maybe we actually saw a brief touchdown of a tornado, because Matt, it looks like that could have been a debris signature showing up right there, because it lines up very closely where our rotation was, right through there. So again, this is why we need to take this even more seriously than we have been already. But anytime we see that type of signature showing up where we could have seen an actual touchdown, and what we see is this brighter blue, that's what's getting lofted into the atmosphere. The radar can actually differentiate between raindrops, hailstones, and debris. It sees it in different three-dimensional capabilities, because as the beam goes out, it goes out horizontally, but also vertically. So it gets a cross-section of that item. And that may be, Matt, what we saw here with that just a few seconds ago. So again, they've extended the warning. This is going to continue north of 62. This is Morgan, extreme southern Scott, and also into western Anderson County. So Buffalo Mountain, Braytown, up through Charlie's Branch, if you know where those TVA wind turbines are, up there on Buffalo Mountain. That's kind of where this could be heading. So north of Petros, Wartburg, you all need to be in your safe areas. Again, this has been pretty impressive, Matt, to be able to see that tight rotation. And again, maybe a debris signature that was showing up just a few minutes ago with this cell. So I'll quickly put a track on this. Goby 828. Petros 844, and then Tioga at around 847. It looks like maybe it just came back down. Maybe it's recycling a bit, and that can happen sometimes with these. But again, Matt, pretty impressive. I'm going to ask the Weather Service about that and see what they say. But how about southeast Kentucky? We don't want to ignore them either.
Yeah, absolutely, Ken. So we'll continue to watch that area of rotation right near Highway 27 in Morgan County. But we're watching this area of rotation moving into Harlan County right near Saylor. Notice how the reds and the greens are coming together. This storm has pulsed up again with the latest radar scans that are moving through. You're seeing the reds and the greens coming together. This is where your area of rotation would be, and that's where we have the chance of a tornado potentially touching down. It does include Harlan, Baxter. You want to make sure that you're in your tornado safe place. Bledsoe in southeast Kentucky, make sure you're in your tornado safe place. We'll look at the rotation again, where you're seeing the brightest area of rotation right near Saylor. So this is right near where we have Leslie County, Kentucky, Harlan County, and Bell County coming right together. So right in this area, that's where I would suspect if we are going to see a tornado with this tornado warning, it would be in that area. So you want to be taking tornado precautions in this area as well. Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Matt. I just want to update. Weather Service agreed. We're chatting back and forth here. They agree, and they're going to probably go ahead and upgrade this to a tornado confirmed because they saw the same thing I did. I'll scan back just a minute ago, and you can see that bright blue that was showing up west of Annandale near Pilot Mountain. This area right here between Deer Lodge, Pilot Mountain, Annandale, just a couple of minutes ago. So I'm scanning back in the past 5 to 10 minutes. That most likely was a debris signature or the tornado touchdown right there and continues to make its way eastward. And now do you see how it's getting a little more muddled? What's happening is that debris is getting lofted in the air and spread out over an area. So again, most likely we saw a tornado touchdown with this, and that's what you're seeing now with this purple, a confirmed tornado warning. So again, we saw that with the radar just a second ago. And again, we've been saying, we need to take this serious. Now we need to take this even more serious. So right there between Lansing and Wartburg, this area is what we need to watch. That's 62 right there. I'm going to zoom in a little closer. So between Gobi Road, Morgan County Highway, Old Highway 27, that's where it would be right now. So Gobi to Elizabeth, kind of make sure you're in your safe spot, and Wartburg. So it's probably just north of the Wartburg area, but if you live in Wartburg proper, let's please make sure you're in your safe spot as well. Again, looked very impressive a few minutes ago, Matt, that rotation we were seeing with that cell just a few minutes ago. And again, it looked like a debris signature that showed up on radar, which basically the debris, the tornado touched down like a vacuum, was pulling up debris off the ground and lofting it up into the air. That's why the Weather Service kind of agreed with what I said. We were chatting back and forth, and they upgraded it to a confirmed tornado. So right east of the Lansing area. So if you're in Elizabeth, 8:29, 3 minutes from now, Liberty, 8:32, Petros. We got a weather watcher, Jim West, there. Make sure you're in your safe spot, Jim. Be safe. But later on, if you have any updates for me, you can message me on Twitter, but I don't want you to go out now, obviously. But if you're in the Wartburg area, north of 62, between Oak Hill and Wartburg, Matt, that looks to be like probably the worst part of this. Maybe a little less tight rotation than what we saw. It could be what we call cycling, and that happens a lot, where think about you're jogging, right? You're jogging down the road, you're moving along at a good clip, you get a little tired, so you take a little break. Maybe you run a little slower, you get some rest, and then you go again. Oftentimes, that's what can happen with these cells as they're moving along. This is the same cell that we've watched from northeast of Nashville over the past hour and a half continue to track across the plateau and down towards some of the lower elevation areas coming off the plateau and maybe eventually down into the valley. Again, Matt, what are you watching up into southeast Kentucky still? We don't want to ignore them.
Yeah, we'll continue to monitor this tornado warning in effect for southeast Kentucky. Quickly want to mention, my producer pointed out, you may be more familiar, that confirmed tornado warning in parts of Morgan County, very close to Frozen Head State Park. So keep that in mind. If you live in near that area, you want to make sure you're taking tornado precautions. Let's talk about the tornado warning that's also in effect in parts of southeast Kentucky, moving through parts of Harlan County. Taking just a look at this, it doesn't look as impressive as it did just a couple minutes ago. Likely what we're seeing is the storm pulsing up and then pulsing down. Remember, we've been going back and forth looking at a couple radar scans. It looks weaker, but then it pulsed up again, hence the tornado warning that's still in effect. At this point, it doesn't look as strong as it once did. But I still want you to be in your tornado safe place because we still have a chance for some strong wind gusts, potentially damaging winds that can move through parts of Harlan County. So if you live in Harlan, this area of rotation, if we're going to see a tornado warning moving through parts of this area, it's going to be in your area very shortly. You want to be in your tornado safe a safe spot if you're not already in that area. So we'll watch this storm very closely. It continues to move through the area. So we're talking about Harlan County, Kentucky. We do cover some counties in southeast Kentucky, so we of course are focusing in on this storm as well. Currently 8:28 in the evening. This tornado warning does continue until 8:45 tonight. So if you live in Harlan, I want you to be taking your tornado precautions as well. And we will watch it closely for folks in Southwest Virginia as well. But at this point, still seeing at least evidence of some rotation with the storm system moving through parts of southeast Kentucky, Harlan County to be more specific. So you're in the clear back in Barberville. Okay, there we have some good news. The tornado warning has been canceled in southeast Kentucky. But again, we will watch this storm closely because we had this happen just a few minutes ago, the storm weekend, but then it pulsed up once again. At this point, there is no active tornado warning in parts of Harlan County, but I do think it's a good idea that you are ready to go back to your safe place if a new tornado warning is issued again, if the storm strengthens up once again. I'll continue to monitor this one, but we do have a confirmed tornado warning in effect across parts of the Plateau. Ken, if we can, we'll get another update from you as that confirmed tornado warning still in effect for parts of Morgan County along Highway 27 and headed into Anderson County as well. So if we get an update from you, Ken.
Exactly right, Matt. 8:45, so at least another 15 minutes. I got a feeling that they're going to continue to extend that as well across the area. So here's what we're looking at. We saw this cell earlier as it made its way just west and then eventually through the Annandale Pilot Mountain area. Producer Jeff, you may just want to have some areas get some calls in there in portions of Morgan County again, because what we were seeing earlier was what we call a debris signature. You could actually see that the tornado had touched down, and that's why they went ahead and issued the confirmed tornado warning for this cell. So heads up, Petros, Fork Mountain, Braytown. Here's kind of your areas time-wise. 8:41 Petros, Braytown 8:43, Rosedale 8:45 as this is moving towards the south and east, kind of east of the Sunbright Morgan County area. I'll go back quickly and we'll scan back just in the past 15-20 minutes. This was the area we were talking about where the blue showed up right through there. So about 8:19, somewhere between the Deer Lodge, Lavender, Annandale area, this was what grabbed my attention, the possible debris signature, and most likely that's what it was that showed up across the area, meaning that there was most likely a touchdown of a tornado in the area, and that's why we've gone ahead and the Weather Service upgraded this to a confirmed tornado warning as this is making its way now east of the 62 area, north of 62. So heads up, Gobi, Oak Hill, I'd still be very focused on this from Union to Petros, Buffalo to Braytown. So this would be northwestern Anderson County here, extreme southern Scott, and this would be the eastern sections of Morgan County as this continues to head in this direction. So here's the updated areas we could be focusing on. Mahan Village around 8:36. If you see your community or anywhere you're close to these, you need to make sure you're in your safe spot, please, as this is moving pretty quickly. It's showing a forward speed of between 45 and almost 50 miles per hour, so maybe picking up a little bit of speed as well. Fork Mountain 8:42, Tioga 8:42, and Morse Camp at about 8:43. Again, what's interesting with this is this cell is basically all by itself. There's one to the north. Matt, I want you to focus on that one if you don't mind here in just a minute, the Campbell County storm. I'll let you take a look at that. And I'll see if I can turn around here in a minute our McLeod Mountain camera. It's probably going to be blocked, but I'll take a look here in a minute. But I want you to focus on that one. But I'm going to continue to focus on the one here. So again, the areas we're watching, this would be Morgan County, southern Scott, western Anderson County. That's a confirmed tornado warning, and that goes until 8:45. Again, we stay on the air if there is a tornado warning in the area, especially when it's this serious, a confirmed tornado warning.
And Ken, just to add on to exactly what you're saying, quote from the National Weather Service directly, this storm still has a good environment to work with. So exactly what you're saying, it's by itself, and there is still plenty of energy as it continues to move south and east.
Right. It's in an untapped atmosphere. We showed you the map earlier today. I was showing what the storm fuel was across the area, the fuel for these to feed off of. we didn't see a line of thunderstorms come through and wipe out all that fuel. It's still there. But what's interesting is, there aren't many cells that are out here. There's that one in Campbell County that I'm going to let Matt focus on here in just a minute, and then this confirmed tornado warning one that's coming through Morgan County. They've trimmed the western edge of that now. So if you live west of the Wartburg area, back towards Sunbright, you are clear. You are free from this tornado warning. Annandale, you may be having some debris around the area in the Annandale area, so be careful if you go out, okay? There could be debris around. Make sure you have good shoes on. Hopefully your cell signals are working okay as well so that you can get the help you need if you need it. But again, definitely looks like there was a possibility, there was a touchdown of a tornado back there in portions of Morgan County. So yes, still a very good environment for these storms to continue to feed off of as they're dropping to the south and east. Matt, I'm going to continue to watch this. Let's get the people updated further north up there into that Campbell County. Severe thunderstorm warning on that, is that correct?
Yes, severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll watch this storm closely because even just a few minutes ago, before it had that warning on it, it did look like it was strengthening up. So we'll continue to watch. Also, this storm in the same environment as the one that has the still confirmed tornado warning tag on it. So we'll watch this storm closely, but we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It does include parts of Campbell County, the northern part of the county. So in Jellicoe, you're likely hearing heavy rain. The potential's there for some hail and also some damaging winds. We could see winds gusting upwards of 60 miles per hour. So just a timeline on this. It is headed into Claiborne County, so over towards Chaska by 8:37, Morley 8:39, Wynn Elementary School 8:39 as well, and over towards Holton by 8:40. White Oak Elementary School also there by 8:41. We'll keep a close eye also on that virtual threat index, the VTI number at a 2.3. So there is a chance that the storm continues to strengthen up because if I can zoom out just a bit, this storm as well also in an untapped environment, and there's no storms beyond it. So as it continues to push to the south and east, notice how it's pretty quiet right now. Moving through parts of Claiborne County, Granger County. We do have some light rain in parts of Union County. We'll watch this storm closely. Also, we still have the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of southeast Kentucky. That's the one that we've been talking about potentially pulsing up and pulsing back down. So I'm going to flip radars here so we can get a better scan of it. We still have at least some broad rotation with this storm system as it continues to traverse through Bell County and up towards Harlan County as well. So I would still be paying attention to the storm system. I'm watching it closely. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Harlan County and Bell County. This storm continues to push to the south and east, so in the direction of Lee County, Virginia as well. We could see it pulse up once again. We'll try and flip back over. So we still have at least evidence of potentially weak rotation moving through this area, but also, again, we're starting to see it potentially pulsing up once again. So you just want to have a way to return to your safe place if an additional tornado warning is issued in this area. So we have the severe thunderstorm warning for areas to the north in parts of southeast Kentucky. We have that severe thunderstorm warning in parts of Campbell County and Claiborne County as well. But at this point, our utmost concern is that tornado warning that's still in effect, including parts of Morgan County and Anderson County. Ken, if we can get an update from you for folks who are in that area. Yeah, getting some reports of some damage probably south of the Sunbright area there in Morgan County. No real surprise. Weather Service checked in with emergency management. There were a bunch of people that were sheltered in the Sunbright Elementary School, maybe some type of an after-school event, maybe some basketball, wrestling, something like that going on. All safe that we know of there, but some reports of damage again in Morgan County, I'd say, especially near that Annandale area south of Sunbright where we saw that debris signature that popped up. But still the active confirmed tornado warning. They have that tag on it, we call it, or the confirmed tornado warning because of the debris signature we saw pop up earlier back towards Annandale as it made its way south of Sunbright, between Sunbright and Wartburg. So the updated here for you. Looks like western side of Morgan County, you're going to be free and clear at this point. So Sunbright, okay now. If you have to get out and check on damage, please be very careful. There's some down trees, power lines. There could be some live power lines as well out there, so you need to make sure you're very careful with that, please, if you're going to be going out across the area. It looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to be for up into Harlan County, Kentucky. So we're still getting warnings to the north as well. But this area is what we're focused on. Looks like it's
extreme eastern Morgan, southern sections of Scott, and northwestern Anderson County. So from Braytown to Fork Mountain, upper Windrock, again, that's where the wind turbines are there for TVA, if you know where that area is. That's going to be moving towards the south and east. Now, what's going to be interesting, do they extend this a little further, Matt? It's 8:38 now. That expires here in 7 minutes. We'll see if they choose to do that. I will say it's not quite as pronounced, the rotation, as what it looked like earlier. But again, we've talked about this before. This storm is by itself. I'll put this into motion just from the past hour. There's not a lot of activity there. There's the one you are following to the north, which we need to keep a close eye on as well. Claiborne, Union County, we need to focus on that storm, Matt. I would not be surprised if we start to see some rotation with that one as well. But this one that we've been following, sliding now to the south and east, that's the same one that was back just northeast of Nashville over an hour ago when we started the 7. And this is still holding together. It's been cycling back and forth, we call it, where it strengthens, maybe weakens a little bit, then re-strengthens again. And what Matt just talked about a minute ago, it's definitely working into an environment as it heads towards Knox County and Anderson County that it hasn't tapped into. There's still fuel or opportunities for this to hold together, maybe strengthen a bit more as well. So we'll see if they extend this a little further over the next little bit, Matt. But right now, anybody that's in Fork Mountain, 844, Tioga, 845, Upper Windrock, again, that's going to be in northwest Anderson County. That's going to go until 850. Matt, any updates from the Weather Service on this? What
and yes, for that specific warning, they are going to extend the warning, but they'll take off the confirmed tag. But there's still rotation, so of course we'll treat it like it's on the ground, taking that storm very seriously.
And I would imagine at that point it's going to probably include Knox County. I would at least say the west side of Knox County. We'll see when that comes out, but that wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, you're exactly right. They're going to drop the confirmed tag, still some rotation, but they're not seeing that debris signature like I showed you back around 8:19 near the Annandale area that they had. But they're going to keep the tornado warning for the time being, and they'll drop that confirmed tag once again. Yeah, so the tornado warning now, Matt, is going to include Knox County. That's just about to come out now. There it is. They've dropped the purple or confirmed tag with that, but they will go ahead and keep the possible, again, radar indicated tornado. So we need to take this very seriously as this continues to make its way towards the south and east. And this new warning for Knox County is going to go until 9:15. So we've got at least another 40 minutes or so for this at minimum as this moves off towards the south and east. So, and again, the new tornado warning is going to include the southern 2/3 of Anderson and extreme northwest Knox County, and that's going to go until 9:15 with that cell. So again, I'll put a track on this, some of the areas that could be impacted as this moves to the south and east. So again, Upper Windrock, 849, that's going to be in northwestern Anderson County, and Windrock itself at about 850. Again, maybe it's recycling a bit. It doesn't look quite as pronounced as it did earlier, but pretty good indication that there was a tornado touchdown back there into Morgan County, south of Sunbright, north of the Wartburg area, somewhere in the Annandale area, somewhere in that. I don't know if it was Annandale proper, but somewhere in there we saw that debris signature, which is why the purple showed up. That purple means a confirmed tornado warning. They are going to replace that now here in the next 4 minutes. That will expire, and they're replacing it with the red, which is a tornado warning, which means it is a confirmed, or a radar indicated rather, tornado with this, which could still touch down at any point. Matt, you got an update over there?
Yeah, so I'm watching the storm in Campbell County very closely. It does look like this storm is strengthening, like all the ones that we talked about, pulsing up and then potentially pulsing down. We just have the severe thunderstorm warning on it, but there, with each radar scan that comes in, it does look like there's more weak rotation with the storm system. So if you live in Claiborne County, I just want you to make sure you know where you're going to go should a tornado warning be issued. I think it's a good idea that you're already inside. We don't want anyone outside, as this storm can produce some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, if not greater. But I want you to just be thinking about where would you go should a tornado warning be issued for this storm system. We don't have one right now, but the storm is strengthening. And again, it's entering the same environment as the storm to the south that has already produced evidence of producing a tornado earlier in the night. So weak rotation with the storm system. It is tracking into Claiborne County. So Speedwell by 8:48 to Town Creek 8:56, and also Red Hill by 8:57. I just want you to be prepared should a tornado warning be issued for this storm system. But at this point, we just have the severe thunderstorm warning. We're also still watching these storms back through southeast Kentucky. And I'm going to flip over the radar so we can get a better picture. We still have evidence of weak rotation, two different areas of weak rotation, the southern part of Harlan County and now just east of Harlan, still in Harlan County. This storm system, still a severe thunderstorm warning on it. It will track into southwest Virginia, into Lee County. I continue to monitor it, but at this point it's weak rotation, but still you can see some potentially damaging winds with that storm system. The one I want to watch extra closely is the one back into Campbell and Claiborne counties, where it does look like it's strengthening. So we have the severe thunderstorm warning. It does continue until 9:15. It includes parts of Claiborne County and the northern part there of Union County as well. So New Tazewell, just keep a close eye on the storm system. Of course, we'll be watching it closely. Still, at least in the latest radar scans, the storm has been strengthening up just slightly. And again, we can see that it is entering a less a favorable environment. Ken, I do believe we have a brand new tornado warning for parts of Harlan County. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to touch on this for just a second. It's right in the area where we were just talking about, where there was still at least some weak rotation with it. So we're back on the Jackson County tornado, Jackson National Weather Service radar here. We have another tornado warning. It lasts for 15 minutes until 9 o'clock for parts of Harlan County, where we're still seeing at least some rotation. It's this southern rotation here through parts of Harlan County. That is going to continue to track into Lee County, Virginia as well. So we'll monitor this one closely, but let's also talk about the one that's moving through Anderson County, and now we have the tornado warning that does include parts of Knox County. So Ken, let's go back to you.
Yeah, and that's what I want to mention, Matt. The Lady Vols game just let out. I think they won. I think they beat UConn. Amazing win there. But here's my point. If they're starting to get out of the arena, the edge of this warning box goes until 9:15, which tells me maybe in that 9:15 to 9:30, so another 40 minutes from now, we could be seeing this storm close to the downtown area. So if you know somebody that's down at the game, that's been at the game, just make sure they're aware of what's going on, that this storm is kind of heading that way. We may need to have kind of these people stay where they are until this storm passes through, but kind of keep that in mind, okay? Lady Vols game letting out in the downtown Knoxville area. It doesn't include, the tornado warning does not include downtown Knoxville yet. It's the west side of Knox County. So still need to be watching though. It does include portions like Hardin Valley, close to Halls and Powell, getting close to that, but it does include Clinton, and this is sliding to the south and east. So just something I want to keep in the back of our mind. If you know somebody that's been at the game, just make sure they're paying attention to what's going on. We're streaming live on air, online, any way you can get us through our app as well. We're making sure you're staying updated here. But the storm looks like it's almost out of Morgan County. Let me get like a quick look on this for me here. I would say at this point, the majority of areas west of Wartburg, okay. But this storm's still pretty impressive near Braytown to Frost. This is going to be into northwest Anderson County, Bryceville community, Upper Wind Rock, Dutch Valley, those areas. Looks like we're getting a new little skit that's showing up here as well. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. Maybe again, what were we talking about? These storms, they recycle, right? They're pretty strong. They lose a bit of their intensity, they grow back. And this could be what's starting to happen with this cell now as it's coming out of eastern Morgan, making its way into northwest Anderson County. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. But Frost around 8:52, Laurel Grove 8:55. So we're getting close to the top of the hour here. And same thing with Bryceville. Again, that's northwest Anderson County there at 8:58. So again, this does include West Knox, much of Anderson County and extreme eastern Morgan County. This goes until 9:15, so another 30 minutes. Again, our policy, we stay on the air. I know you may not be seeing your local programming that you want to see right now, but lives could be in danger here. That's why we stay on the air. We most likely had this storm touch down. We have some reports of debris back into Morgan County, so that's why we're continuing to follow this as it's working its way into an even more populated area, portions of Anderson and especially into West Knox County. So we will stay on this until the threat is over. I know Matt's keeping a close eye on this storm to the north into Campbell County. There's also a tornado warning as well up into southeast Kentucky. Matt, I want you to keep an eye on that. It looks like Lee County, Virginia may have just had a new tornado warning go out as well. So I'm going to send it to Matt real quick so you can take a look at those storms just to our north, especially along that Tennessee-Kentucky border area.
Yeah, we've been watching the storms in southeast Kentucky. They've pulsed up, they've pulsed down. So now we do have an additional tornado warning in effect. So our viewing area is Harlan County. This is really starting to move into southwest Virginia at this point, into parts of Lee County, Virginia. So Jonesville, you are included in this tornado warning. It continues until 9:30, but I am going to focus in on Harlan County, where we still have pockets of at least some rotation. Again, where you're seeing the reds and the greens coming together, that's where you could see potentially a tornado touchdown. So the tornado warning for Harlan County does continue until 9 o'clock tonight. It's 8:45 currently, and we still have the reds and the greens coming together, at least seeing some rotation with the storm system. So at this point, it's south of Harlan, but still including parts of Harlan County. This is the only tornado warning that we have in effect in southeast Kentucky. You notice we're quiet warning-wise through Bell County, Knox, Whitley County, McCreary County as well. So we're watching the tornado warning for Harlan County, Lee County, Virginia as well. But I do want to talk about the severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for parts of Campbell County, Union County, and Claiborne County as well. Still seeing evidence of weak rotation with the storm system. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but still tracking to the south and east. So headed towards Powell Valley by 8:54, Red Hill 8:59, Town Creek also at 8:59, and then we'll get to Collins Mill at the top of the hour, and then continuing to track to the south and east. So New Tazewell, just pay attention to the storm system, seeing at least some weak rotation with it, but also the heavy rain and the potential's there for some hail as well. Can flip back over to the hail path. Yeah, actually pretty impressive, where there's likely some larger size hail falling in parts of Claiborne County. It's coming out of Campbell County at this hour. At least the radar is estimating over an inch in diameter. So that's some very large hail potentially falling in parts of this area right along the Campbell-Claiborne County line. And that storm system will continue to track to the south and east. So we're watching that one as well, and we continue to monitor the storms that are prompting additional tornado warnings through parts of southeast Kentucky at this hour, through Harlan County, and also in southwest Virginia as well. So still seeing at least evidence of rotation, again, included in parts of Harlan County. If you know anyone who's in Lee County, just give them a heads up that they're also under a tornado warning. We'll continue to monitor this storm. We'll continue to monitor the one moving through Claiborne County that is prompting potentially damaging winds and also large hail. But also our focus is in on that tornado warning that does include parts of Anderson County, Knox County as well. And that's a storm system that is moving into a favorable environment for strong to severe storms. So Ken, let's go back to you and get an update on that particular storm.
Yeah, still keeping an eye on it, Matt. Looks like the majority, we're almost done, I'd say, with Morgan County. I think we're probably okay. The worst part is out of your area. But northwest Anderson still showing at least some rotation. I think it's going to start to probably tighten back up a little bit. At least the last couple of scans, it looks like that could be occurring. And we've kind of seen that with this storm over the past hour. So especially the northern part of this heads up Clinton, kind of heading in your area. Laurel Grove right about now, Dutch Valley and the school there at 8:52, Minersville 8:53, Granite 8:55, the Clinton area at 8:57, so we're getting close to the top of the hour. As I said, Vols game let out, okay for now. We'll see if this warning gets extended. I got a feeling it will. This one goes until 9:15. So what are we talking about? 25 minutes, 24 minutes from right now. So still another 20 minutes or so. But the way this has progressed, I don't see why they wouldn't go ahead and extend it at minimum, at least a severe thunderstorm warning as this continues to move to the east. That's a pretty stout cell that we're keeping an eye on right through here. Matt showed you the hail that was showing up to the north. We're seeing that as well now with this storm. Over the past couple of scans, seeing a bit more in the way of hail showing up. You can see that path. This is basically showing hail that we've seen over the past hour, or the potential for some hail over the last hour. So at minimum, 3/4 inch size diameter hail. Severe hail definition is 1 inch in diameter, the size of a 25-cent piece or larger, right? Winds gusting 58 miles per hour or greater. probably have that, and or a tornado, right? That's all the definitions of severe thunderstorms. But again, we do still have this tornado warning. I'm seeing still some areas maybe of some rotation, especially northwest Anderson County, that has me a bit concerned right through here. So between Frost, Minersville, there's Blowing Springs coming at the top of the hour, and then 9 o'clock, we're talking about Clinton and the middle school itself. We're probably past the time of any after-school activities, I would imagine, but if you know you live in and around the schools, that's why we put the schools and landmarks on here, because you know where those are in relation to where you live. There's Bull Run, so the steam plant area there. We're talking about that area could be impacted as well. And if this holds together, again, could be pretty close to the Knoxville area itself as we get in that 9 to 9:15, 9:20 time frame, depending on just the speed here and the direction. So I would say anywhere in the downtown Knoxville area in the next 20 to 30 minutes. We just need to be paying very close attention to this as well. It looks like okay, Matt, you just have to tell me what it is, Jeff. I'm sorry. Okay, power lines and trees down. A trailer and mobile home could be flipped over as well. And what was that to homes? Roof lost on some homes. My producer's talking in my ear, telling me this would be back into Morgan County. Do you have a more specific area? No specific locations yet, but again, I think it's probably going to be between that Wartburg and Sunbright area we talked about near Annabelle. Again, or Annadelle, excuse me, right there in that area where we saw that debris signature that showed up. And this is that same cell, by the way, that we've been tracking all evening, working its way back from Middle Tennessee. I'll show you this, just you can see how this cell, there it was, all the way back north of Cookeville. This was at 7 o'clock when we went on the air for the 7, and we've been on since as this made its way out of Middle Tennessee along the Plateau. Right about there is where we had that tornado warning that came out, where we thought we saw debris, and that probably pretty much confirmed it. And then that cell continues to move, again, getting closer to the downtown Knoxville area itself. It's moving right through Anderson County, Matt. That's right through the Clinton area as we speak. I think this storm is actually increasing a little bit as well in intensity, Matt, from the last couple of scans I've seen. So let's don't let our guard down. So 9 o'clock hour could be very close to the Clinton, all the schools, middle, high school area, also Clinchview, right around the top of the hour there at 9 and 9:01. And these are moving fast, east-southeast, 40 to 45, almost 50 miles per hour. It doesn't give you much time, okay? So in and around downtown Knoxville, all of Knox County, think about now where you need to go if you need to get into your safe area, okay? Again, we're getting close to the top of the hour here at 8:55. This warning goes until 9:15. We are going to take a look. I'm going to get a little bit wider perspective. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you for just a minute. I'm going to take a look at our Embassy Suites hotel camera, get that pointed back to the north and west so we can keep an eye on that as well, Matt.
Yeah, so as you do that, Ken, let's briefly talk about the other severe thunderstorm warnings and still an active tornado warning in parts of the other parts of the area. So we're focused in the northern part of East Tennessee, Southeast Kentucky, Southwest Virginia as well. I do want to point out we're watching this entire line of storms move through the area. I did receive a report of some tree damage. Actually, a tree fell on a home or an apartment and actually went through someone's bedroom back through parts of Corbin on Main Street through Corbin. So we've had some damage already in parts of our area, especially back to the west. So, of course, travel carefully everywhere across the area as it is dark, a bit more challenging to see, and even more challenging as trees knock down power lines and knock out street lights across the area. So we're watching these storms continue to push through the area. We still have a tornado warning in effect also in southeast Kentucky. It includes a small section of Harlan County. You can see it's set to expire at 9. We're a few minutes away from it expiring. And most of the area where we're seeing that rotation has pushed into southwest Virginia now. So it is moving into Lee County, Virginia at this point. And again, we'll watch it, but at this point it's starting to get a bit outside of our viewing area. But just a few more minutes for folks who live in southern Harlan County. I just still want to just make sure that you are completely safe as these storms have been pulsing up and down for the better part of an hour. So this storm, that tornado warning for Harlan County set to expire in the next couple of minutes, but we'll continue to monitor this storm system. And we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Harlan County as well. So we're also watching The severe thunderstorm warning to the south as well. Still seeing areas of weak rotation. We'll get this in order so you can see it better. This is through Claiborne County. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue until 9:15, where we're seeing evidence of a weak rotation, but also this was the one that was producing pretty large hail. We likely have the potential for hail damage, the western side of Claiborne County back into Campbell County. Notice how this hail path stretches all the way back into Jellicoe. So there's the potential for some large hail, severe hail. The radar is estimating a diameter of 1.75 inches. Can't guarantee that's what's actually the size of the hailstones as they fall, but hail can certainly do damage as well. So we'll continue to monitor this storm system, and let me zoom out so you can get a better picture where it's headed. So still through Claiborne County, Tazewell, New Tazewell, just a heads up, this storm's headed in your direction. We'll watch it for folks in Granger County as well. And let me flip back to the reflectivity here. There's still plenty of environment to work with. Yes, I know we have a few light rain showers through parts of Union County, seeing some rain approaching Jefferson City and Morristown, but we continue to monitor the one that is in its own environment. The tornado warning does continue for parts of Anderson and Knox County. So Ken's watching that one closely. We're still watching the severe thunderstorm warning for areas, northern areas here in East Tennessee as well. Ken, it looks like you have the camera pulled up there so we can take a look at the storm.
Yeah, exactly right. We're looking at our camera that's downtown Embassy Suites Hotel, kind of looking back to the north and west. A lot of lightning showing up across the area. As you can see, just got a report as well of some hail, maybe up to $half size. So we're talking a little over an inch in diameter back into Anderson County near Clinton. So that makes sense. So again, we'll keep an eye on this. Jeff, I have this on 1, so I want you to just keep an eye and make sure nothing crazy squirrely happens.
Got back to you. If you're seeing that, they're about to extend that warning. So more viewers will be joining us in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I asked about this when it's about to expire in the next 15 minutes, but the storm is getting on the outer edge of it. So I asked if they were going to extend this down into Knox County proper, and they will. So again, this is what we've been talking about. This storm continues to move south and east, heads up High School around 906 Broad Acres. That's in the Powell community at 908. Make sure you're in your safe spot there. That would put it in the downtown Knoxville area here. There it goes. So that's the tornado warning. That's the EAS on our phones going off. So that is going to include the downtown Knoxville area. Okay, we're right at 9 o'clock, all right? So you're watching WATE 6 on your side. Right here at 9 o'clock, we're doing continuing coverage of a tornado warning as it's coming out of Morgan through Anderson and now making its way possibly into Anderson or Knox County through portions of northern Sevier and even into Granger, Jefferson County. Rather.
It's a pretty big warning.
That is a big warning, and that's going to go for an extended period of time. That's going to go until what time, Matt? That's through 9:45. So 45-minute warning. It's going to blow through very quickly, but again, it has had a history of producing a tornado. We don't know that there's one with it now. We can't promise, guarantee, but it's had a history, right? And we've said it's been moving into an environment that is favorable for seeing it basically hold together, if not strengthen. And what I have seen with this over the past couple of scans is we've seen it kind of go up and then relax, go up and then relax, right?
Hey, Jeff.
Looks like it may be getting a little bit stronger the last couple of scans, but it's right in the Clinton area right now. So between the middle and high school, Clinch View coming up at 9:02, South Clinton 9:03, and then we're moving further south and east, high school 9:07, and Broad Acres at 9:09. Again, that's going to be in the Powell community. So anywhere between 9 and 9:15 in the Powell community. And I've been focusing on just how quickly that cell's moving, between 40 and almost 50 miles per hour. So that's why they extended this warning, made it so big, right? Because it's going to traverse this entire area very quickly, making its way through the Knoxville, Knox County area. What was that, Jeff? I'm sorry. Oh, okay, let's take a look. We may have had a power hit with some lightning because I just had a view here of our downtown Embassy Suites Hotel camera. Let's see if I can move it back. So it physically moved, Jeff? Oh, okay. Now it's back. Okay, so this is a live view here. We've been seeing quite a bit of lightning. We're looking to the northwest, so it would be where that storm is coming from and heading in this direction. So it's moving this way. It's moving from northwest to southeast. It would be coming right at me. So we're focused on that, looking back towards the north and west. He'll continue to keep an eye on that. But again, it's working its way. It's past Oak Ridge now. Looks like it would be very close to Clinton, right on the border between West Knox and Anderson County. So there's Bull Run, where the steam plant is, as you're going back towards the Oak Ridge area. Halls, Powell, make sure you're paying attention to this. Here are all the times, the estimated time of arrival as the storm's moving into the areas. These will continue to update. So if you see your community, if you know somebody that's in these areas, please make sure and call them. The Lady Vols game was on. I'm sure a lot of people were watching that. A lot of people may still be in and around the arena. Please make sure they're paying attention to this. I would imagine, I know how the emergency managers over there at UT work. They're probably making sure people are staying in the arena now. There are safe spaces in the arena. So if they haven't left, we've got our crew over there. I don't know if Casey or Reese or Sam are over there. I would imagine they will know. My producer's going to check and make sure they know as well. And stay. They're about to do a press conference for the Lady Vols with Kim Caldwell. Again, I hope they're paying attention to this, okay? We need to make sure they are as this storm is moving to the south and east. So high school, 904, Powell Heights, 907, Glenwood, 908, Pedigo, 908. Matt, I know you're keeping an eye on the storms to the north. If you see something that you need to take over, let me know.
Let me just interrupt for a second because we have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that's also been issued. So we'll just touch on that very quickly. We have the severe thunderstorm warning. It is going to be extended. So it includes more places like New Tazewell, parts of Granger County towards Bean Station, and parts of Hancock County south of Sneedville. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning. To be clear, not a tornado warning for folks New Tazewell, Bean Station, and south of Sneedville, but we'll watch it closely. This is the one that is producing potentially very large hail, which can result in damage, and also straight line wind damage. So we'll take that seriously as well. Also want to mention just briefly, all the tornado warnings in southeast Kentucky have expired. There are a few that are still in effect in southwest Virginia. We'll watch those, but our main focus right now is that tornado warning that is impacting highly populated areas. Ken, let's go back to you.
Yeah, I've been watching the camera again. A lot of lightning showing up. What we're going to try to get the director to do here in a minute is do a double box, what we call. You can see the camera. We're going to have that in one in the smaller, and then we'll continue to track the radar in the bigger box, and we'll do that here in a minute. But we're looking back to the north and west. This is the direction the storm would be coming from. It's moving very quickly. And what I do want to point out, this storm, we still have it moving at a forward speed of almost 45 to 50 miles per hour. So at minimum, just the forward speed of these storms, you can see winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, right? Just the forward movement of that. If we have any other type of rotation within this, you're of course going to see stronger winds than that. So again, let's focus. Powell, 909. Powell Heights, 909. Copper Ridge Elementary, if you know where that is, also at 909. Glenwood at 910. Idlewood Acres, same. So we're talking about the Powell area up I-75. It's crossing between Anderson and Knox County now. If you live in Oak Ridge westward, you are probably clear from this tornado warning as we speak across the area. All right, so yeah, so they're doing the same thing I am, Matt. They're seeing that same thing. That cell right there, they're keeping a close eye on. They're starting to see it tighten back up again as we're getting a little bit closer to the downtown Knoxville area, something I just want to keep a very close focus on right through here. You can see where that bright red is next to the green, starting to tighten up. When they get really close together, that's the biggest concern. So right along I-75, that's where this is. So there's high school. There's the Dainty community. So that's North Knox. And that's high school. So that's what's sliding to the south and east. Right there would be our concern, Matt, if we had it. If we had any type of a tornado that would be on, touching the ground. And here's why it's going to be problematic. It's what's called rain wrapped. There's some very heavy rainfall. Plus it's night. You're not going to see it. About the only way you may be able to see it is here in the box over here. If you happen to see a lightning flash that illuminates it, that would be about the only way you'd be able to see something like that. So we're going to keep that box up over here. To the what is that, your left-hand side, your right-hand side, and keep a close eye on that. But again, that area, we've seen it maybe tightening up just a little bit here, very close to the high school area. So please make sure you're in your safe spot. High school, if you live right along I-75, I'll zoom in just so we can see some other communities very close to this region. So there's right along I-75, there's High School Road. Now we're starting to get over towards Emory Estates. Cedar Crest North, Bricky McLeod. So again, we're talking, there's I-75, that's Emory Road, right? So Emory Road traveling there. There's Bricky McLeod, Cedar Crest North, Emory Estates. So these are all subdivisions that we need to focus on as this storm is sliding to the south and east. My wife at home, make sure your mom and caregivers are paying attention to this storm, as it could be very close to where they are, okay? So there's Norris Freeway as well. So right where Emory Road, Norris Freeway come together, and I-75 as the storm is sliding kind of east-southeast. I would say Raccoon Valley as well. This would be the area we're watching where those two are close together. So anywhere in this region, you need to make sure you're paying attention. There's Powell High School as well, the middle and high school, elementary, Ponderosa Hills. So that's the area we're talking about as well as you're traveling up towards the Halls community. So between Powell and Halls, that's where that storm is tracking, right over the high school area as we speak. Powell Elementary, 911, Idlewood Acres, 912, Glenwood, 912 as well, and Mapleview as this is moving to the south and east quickly at about 45 to 50 miles per hour. It's moving very, very quickly. How it's rotating, it looked like it was strengthening a little bit over the past couple of scans. That's what really kind of has concerned me in the last little bit with this. And we're starting to see that show up right there. At minimum, I'd say we've got winds over 60 miles per hour possible, about to cross Interstate 75. Jeff, we don't have, there's not one on I-75 that far north, is there? I think Merchant is probably about the farthest north that I-75 TDOT camera goes. So we wouldn't be able to see it. It would be only about right through here. But I don't know, maybe just take a look. What's that? Callahan's the most north. So maybe take a look, Jeff, just to see that in case they're pointing north. We don't know. He's going to check on that for me. We're just trying to get any type of confirmation. There it is right there. So that's the farthest north camera we have on I-75. So it would be right through here. That's the Callahan camera. And we're hard to say. I can't tell that they're looking north there. I'm sure that's a north-south. I would imagine the right-hand side of the screen was probably that was looking north. So the right-hand side of the screen there was the northbound traffic on 75, and the left-hand side was southbound. I imagine that would be. Now we're back to our Embassy Suites hotel camera. That's downtown Knoxville, looking towards the north. What are they saying there, Matt, with that? Oh, that's in Southwest Virginia. Okay.
Yes.
They were canceling a tornado warning. I was a little confused there for a second from the Weather Service. Oh, okay, you have video. What is this, Jeff? Okay. Okay, this is I-40. This is our crew. They're heading out. They're probably heading back towards that damage into Morgan County that we reported earlier. Again, that's downtown looking back towards Sharps Ridge at this point. So again, they're being safe. They've got a driver and a passenger, so they're not filming while driving. But let's come back to this. Let's show the live camera if we can. We'll keep that up. Downtown Knoxville, that's pointed back to the north and west. But this area, Matt, that really has me concerned right there over I-75. That's a pretty big return of wind, if you will. If I can actually query it, we can look inside and see what kind of winds. There's a 58 near 60 mile per hour wind showing up. So at minimum, we're seeing winds to that effect, Matt, with this storm as it's moving south and east across I-75. It looks like on this current track, it may be just north of the downtown area, Matt, but I would say north side of 640 really needs to be paying attention to this.
So Ken, I'm actually a bit more familiar with this area. Rusty Wallace Honda right there along I-75. This is exactly in that area. If you're familiar with that, Rusty Wallace Honda right there on I-75 north of downtown. Also a big shopping center along Clinton Highway, the Target, the Walmart, the Kroger, Aldi, Home Depot's right there. This is very close to that area. You want to be taking tornado precautions in this area. Also approaching 640 at this hour. So this is right along I-75 at most likely we have very strong winds moving through the area. That's what the radar is picking up on. But we have this active tornado warning and the potential's there for a tornado to touch down. Very populated area along I-75 north of downtown. One thing I want to point out just briefly, we here at WATE are under this tornado warning. Just to let you know, Ken and I are in a room. We have no windows and we we have the safety plan as the storm approaches our area. So for the 4th and Gill neighborhood of Knoxville, you're under this tornado warning as well. So we're watching it. At this point, the area of rotation is along I-75 north of downtown, moving through the Norwood area as well, and along I-75. So at this point, the area of rotation starting to move beyond Anderson County, fully in Knox County at this point, and along I-75, likely the potential is there for some very strong winds to be moving through the area. Of course, we continue to monitor as well our storm that we have to the north that's still producing severe thunderstorm, that's still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and very large hail potentially falling through parts of Claiborne County easily can do damage. The radar is estimating on the potential for, at times, I did see estimated hail size of 2 inches. I can't say that that's what's actually reaching the ground, but the radar is picking up on large hail moving through parts of Claiborne County. This is in New Tazewell right now, and this would head directly in the direction of Bean Station. So Granger County, Claiborne County, Southern Hancock County, pay attention to this storm as well. And we'll continue to monitor this tornado warning that's just outside of our area in Southwest Virginia. Main concern at this point is the active tornado warning. It's a large tornado warning, but we're starting to see evidence of potentially stronger rotation. So let me zoom in here. This is right near Central High School in Skip. So 75 is right here and approaching 640. This is exactly where your area of rotation would be. Yeah, Ken.
That's what I was going to say, because it's really showing up. There's Black Oak towards Glenwood. So if you're going over Broadway and you're going over back towards the Powell Halls area, you're going up. That's the Black Oak Ridge area going over. There's I-75. So Jeff, I know you were talking about that camera, the TDOT SmartWay camera. Just keep an eye on that one as well. And also keep an eye on 640, those cameras right along through there. So this is going to be which camera? Yeah, that looks like 275, 640. So we're getting close maybe to the Clinton Highway area as well. So a lot of heavy rainfall, lightning starting to come in. But again, what we're seeing with this, some very tight rotation, so it's starting to tighten back up as it's getting pretty close to the downtown Knoxville area. So this is I-75 and 640, so we're kind of right where they meet. There's Western Avenue going back westward as you're going back towards Powell as well. Or excuse me, there's Western Avenue to the south here. So this area we just need to keep a close eye on. That's Clinton Highway going back there, back towards the Powell and Claxton area. So that would be the rotation, the biggest concern right through there. So Briarwood Estates near Dainty right now as we speak. Dry Gap now as well. Looks like Sturkey 916, Ricky McLeod 916, Fountain City 917, and Inskip as well. So possibly in the downtown, north side of downtown as well here coming up. So we're kind of making its way inside the loop. So Jeff, keep a very close eye on those 640 cameras. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a new tornado warning that is going to be issued momentarily. It is for that cell moving through Claiborne County. We're starting to see, again, it pulsing up. Now we're seeing evidence of potentially stronger rotation. So New Tazewell, you just want to pay attention to the storm system. Likely the tornado warning is supposed to pop up any second here. So we'll watch it closely. But this storm continuing to move south and east, moving through heads up TNT Primary by 916, Lone Mountain by 918. And again, this is a cell that is impacting Claiborne County at this hour. Just a heads up, Beech Grove, this is moving in your area. So the area of rotation right now is near New Tazewell. It is going to move into parts of Granger County. Notice how north of Rutledge, though, so the northern part of Granger County, say from Rutledge to Bean Station, pay attention to this storm that's still moving through parts of Claiborne County at this hour. Its storm system is pulsing up. We're seeing some evidence of rotation with the storm system. We have a severe thunderstorm warning on it. We talked about just a few minutes ago. It has radar has picked up that it's producing large hail, which can do damage, and we're starting to see this storm rotate as well. So there's the tornado warning now. This one also is a pretty large warning. So folks who are going to be just tuning in, it does include parts of Hamblin County, so it includes Morristown, Bean Station, and it goes to Rutledge. So Granger County, Hamblin County, even it looks like it includes parts of Hawkins County. The area of rotation is back into Claiborne County. We're seeing the evidence of strong rotation there. You can see it there on the legend. Strong rotation, the maroon shading. Here's your area of rotation. This storm system is continuing to push south and east, radar estimating about 45 miles per hour. Just a heads up, 9:19 by Claiborne County High School, Springdale by 9:22, Raven Hill by 9:26. We have a brand new tornado warning in effect for this area, and it goes until 10 o'clock tonight. So it is an active night across East Tennessee. We have several communities under active tornado warnings. We have a large one impacting Knoxville right now. We'll go back to Ken in just a second, but also that tornado warning just issued for areas to the north. But Ken, let's focus in on this one, of highly populated area, potential for a tornado close to downtown Knoxville at this hour.
Yeah, exactly right, Matt. We've got a TDOT SmartWay camera up. This is, where is this again, Jeff? I-75 at Merchant. Okay, we're looking southward. I kind of wish they had that pointed to the north, but also look around 640 as well. Maybe as you're heading back around on the north side of that, Jeff, heading back towards where the Amazon plant is, the old Easttown Mall. So kind of in that direction, keep an eye on that. But this area looks like some decent rotation, pretty strong right along the Inskip area. So Black Oak as we speak, Inskip very close to now, 918. The elementary as well in St. Joseph School, 918. Smithwood at 919. Heavy rain right here in our studios. You can hear that above me. Maybe some small hail. I don't know. We got 640 at Dutch Valley as well. I don't know. Can you step out, look to see if there's some hail with that real quick? Again, that's going to be just north. The center of circulation is north of us. There's the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, so that's downtown. There's First Lutheran School. That's where we are. So there's Fulton High School, so we're getting pretty close there, that rotation, pretty close to that. Buffett Heights, 920. Happy Acres, 920 as well. Alice Bell and Spring Hill Elementary, right around 920. And Kings Valley at 921. Let's don't go outside. That's not a bad idea, right, where this storm is as we speak. So again, moving to the south and east. Right there inside the perimeter probably is where some of the strongest rotation is. There's Austin East. Make sure you're in your safe area as well. Ramsey, Freedom Christian Academy, Massena Estates, that's kind of moving to the south and east, and Asbury as well. 275 at High School is the camera you're looking at. That's the TDOT SmartWay camera. So some very heavy rainfall as that's making its way through. So again, it made its way through the high school community. Again, can't say that there's for certain a tornado with this, but there's some very strong rotation showing up across the area with this cell. Right through there, at minimum, some really strong winds. And that's getting close again over there to the old Easttown Mall. Right where the new Amazon plant is. So if you're familiar with that, there's Alice Bell Elementary and the Beverly community as well. This is 640 at Washington Pike. So yeah, that's some very heavy rainfall. So we're over in this area right through here where that heavy rainfall is that's showing up, just sheets of heavy rainfall. So in minimum, we're talking about a flooding potential with this. Worst case scenario, we're talking about a potential tornado. So we need to make sure you're in your safe spot. Still seeing some very decent rotation showing up on this. South Knoxville, you're not impacted. Down towards the airport, you're okay with this line coming through. It's the cell that we're most worried about. Sliding to East Knox County. So heads up anywhere along I-40. You're going towards the east, getting towards northern sections of Sevier County, back towards exit 407 where the old Smoky Stadium is. That's kind of the direction that this is heading. We've got our generator on. We're in a safe spot right here. Just want to make sure you know that, but we're watching this very carefully here. Let's take a look. I'm going to quickly look at our downtown Knoxville camera, Embassy Suite. So I've got this pointed to the north. You can see extremely heavy rainfall. I'm going to try to skirt it a little bit further to the north and east. That's the rough thing with this, is it's dark. You're not going to be able to tell if there were a funnel that was actually reaching the ground and creating a tornado because of this heavy rain that we do have across the area. Just sheets of heavy rainfall that's coming through. Panning back over to the new ballpark here, that's the direction we're looking. So back towards the north and east. Hard to see because of all the heavy rainfall that we do have. I would imagine this is a lot of traffic that's leaving the arena, leaving the game that we've had in downtown Knoxville, the Lady Vols game. That's 40 at Cherry Street that we're looking at. Over there, that is the TDOT SmartWay camera as well. And again, this warning goes until 9:45, so we're staying on the air until the threat is over with this storm. And it could be a little while, as this is going to stretch all the way towards the east and head over through northern Sevier County and over into sections of Jefferson County as well over the next little bit, as this is moving very rapidly at about 45 to near 50 miles per hour. You'll continue to see communities, schools update continuously here on the left-hand side of your screen. There's Whittle Springs Golf Course right about now. North Knoxville, Plantation Hills, there's Alice Bell Elementary, Berean Christian Academy, that's at 923. So all these areas, that's what's heading in their direction. So please make sure you're in your safe spot as well. Moving east-southeast at nearly 50 miles per hour this cell. Anything else that you've seen across the area, Matt? We got some video across. That's what it looks like in our back parking lot from just a minute ago. All the heavy rainfall that we have making its way through. That would be looking back towards the northeast direction out of our parking lot. So it would be looking back towards this area through here. Still seeing the possibility of some decent rotation, Matt, with this. I see why they've gone ahead and extended that warning across the area. There's some lights flickering in the background there, maybe an indication of the power flickering on and off. But boy, there's some very strong winds at minimum, Matt, right there on the now east side of 640 and 40. So again, we're kind of overheaded towards the zoo. That's Alice Bell. I think we just had another power surge here, but we're on generator, so we should be safe. And stay on the air here. There's Berean Christian and Alice Bell as this is moving to the south and east. I just saw the zoo pop up as well a minute ago. Fulton High School right about now. Beverly 924 as this is moving over towards the south and east. So pretty impressive rotation still showing up with this storm as this has been moving through the area. I think we are still on the air, so I'm going to keep talking across the area. I know power's been flickering on and off, so we are on generator, we are on the air, and we're going to stay here and make sure everybody is safe. Again, we're heading here at 9:23. You're watching WATE 6 on your side, continuing coverage of tornado warnings. We watched this cell go all the way from just the northeast side of Nashville across the Plateau. Looks like it touched down in Morgan County, somewhere between Sunbright, just south of the Sunbright area, maybe near Annandale. There have been reports of damage. We've got a crew headed there on the scene. We'll have more coming up, but this cell, the strongest part of this now, has made its way east of the 640 corridor, right along Interstate 40. This is 40 at Rutledge Pike. The camera there, the TDOT SmartWay cameras on the other side of the screen. But again, right along Interstate 40, this is kind of the worst part of this. So near Berean Christian as we speak, Buffett Heights at 925, Loveland 925 in the fairgrounds. That would be over there at 925, so close to the zoo as well. So it doesn't give you much time. If you see your community pop up, you need to make sure you're in your safe spot. You need to be in your safe spot anyway. Austin East, over towards Island Home, the airport. And then we're talking about the Midway community and the Carter community as well, far east Knox County into northern Sevier County. As this is going to be racing in your direction, please make sure you're in your safe spot. Let me quickly look back towards the west. I want to see if we can give the all clear. Still some heavy rainfall, but I think the severe threat for now over Clinton down through Oak Ridge. Matt, I know you need to talk about that storm as well to the north. We're not ignoring it, but again, this cell is making its way through a very heavily populated area. Buffett Heights at 925. Again, right about Caswell Park, Austin East now as well, but there is a tornado warning on that storm up into Granger County as well, heading into Hamlin County. And Matt, you got more on that?
Yeah, let me talk about that one. Ken,
okay.
If you could turn the Embassy Suites camera around, change that direction. Well, we'll talk about this one. So we still have another tornado warning. We have not forgot about you areas to the north. We're focused in on this one as well. Moving through parts of Granger County, still seeing evidence of rotation. This is the storm that we've been tracking. It developed over Campbell County, continuing to push south and east. It's a strong storm. Radar's picking up that it's produced some pretty large hailstones through parts of Claiborne County. Now we have the tornado warning on it where we're still seeing evidence of rotation. So the area of rotation moving through parts of Granger County at this hour. So Rock Haven expecting an estimated time of arrival at 9:32, Beans by 9:34, Fairview as well 9:34, Tate Springs 9:35, and Bean Station Elementary School by 9:35 as well. So in this area, I also want you to be taking tornado precautions. Let me zoom in a bit closer This is the area of rotation is right near Beech Grove at this hour, towards Dotson as well. Notice how it's north of Rutledge. So this is the northern part of Granger County, moving north of Rutledge, where we have evidence of a storm that is capable of producing a tornado. We're seeing strong rotation, and we're getting a fairly decent sample of this storm because the radar is based in Morristown. And let me zoom out. Morristown, you're under the tornado warning as well. So this warning stretches all the way down to Hamblen County. So you want to be taking tornado precautions in Morristown as well. This storm is still a bit further to the north and west of your area. Yeah, but it will be there in the next few minutes. So just be taking your tornado precautions and being dressed appropriately for a tornado warning. Hard sole shoes, always a good idea to have a bike helmet. Lowest room, most interior room, a room with no windows at this hour for this tornado warning. So we're watching this one closely, moving through parts of Granger County. Again, right near Beech Grove. Notice the yellow that just popped up? That's evidence of potentially extreme rotation. So we're watching this area closely. I'm going to keep zooming in here so you can get a better picture. So Clinch Mountain School, Beans, Avondale Springs, be taking your tornado precautions. This is the latest scan from the radar. It's picking up on potentially extreme rotation. We're seeing that the reds and the greens coming together. So you have the reds going away from the radar, again, based in Morristown. You have the greens going towards the radar. This is where your area of rotation is. And there's the potential there for a tornado to touch down in parts of Granger County at this hour. That tornado warning does continue. So we're seeing evidence of extreme rotation. Let me just make sure, not seeing evidence of debris at this point, but this storm is capable of producing a tornado. As the reds and the greens come together, we're looking at the winds here. That's the storm rotating, and that storm rotating aloft could potentially produce a tornado at the surface. So honestly, this is, I don't think we've seen extreme rotation pop up with any of the other storms that we've been tracking tonight. So this is a concerning radar scan, to say the least. This is in parts of Granger County. You want to be taking tornado precautions. You also want to be taking them for areas south and east, headed in the direction of Hamblen County as well. So let me zoom back in here for a second, try and get the times to pop up. There we go. So Idle by about 9:33, Rock Haven 9:35. Just got an update there. Again, Bean Station Elementary, you want to be taking, if you live near that area, be taking tornado precautions. 9:37 is your estimated arrival time. So you have just under 10 minutes. Be taking tornado precautions at this hour, as this storm is capable of producing a tornado. We're seeing evidence of extreme rotation, and we also are seeing the reds and the greens coming together right in this area, right near Beech Grove. Of course, we're getting a big cluster here. Again, the radar is back here down towards Morristown, but I think Shear tells it the best. We're seeing evidence of potentially extreme rotation. Again, we're talking about Granger County, but that is not the only tornado warning that's in effect. We still have that tornado warning, including parts of Knox County, Sevier County, Jefferson County as well. We're watching that one. I'm going to focus in on this one for just a second because we still have evidence of extreme rotation moving through this area. So you want to be taking tornado precautions as the storm continues to trek south and east. Ken, we'll also watch that other storm. What's the latest update on that one?
One little thing I will point out, that little shear marker you showed with the extreme, when it looks like an S like that, when it's shaped like an S, high probability that you're seeing very extreme rotation, and you did show that. I want to point this out. What we've seen is this we call virtual threat index. That's been going up over the last couple of scans, meaning that storm continues to strengthen as it's making its way through East Knox County. So heads up over towards the Carter community. Looks like it's near Wooddale around 9:32. The elementary school there at Carter at 9:34. Johnson University 9:35 and Carter Middle at 9:36 as this moves east-southeast very quickly at about 50 miles per hour. But again, we keep an eye on that value. This computer, smart as it is, it knows if that storm is strengthening, this value goes up. And anything over about 5 to 6 is very concerning. So anything now between 4 and 5, we are keeping a very close eye on. But that's why the tornado warning continues till 9:45, at least another 15 minutes for this as it's moving to the south and east. And this is I-40, what'd you say, east of 640. So this would be right through here, the camera you're looking at here on the other hand side. Very heavy rainfall, but we're still very concerned about the rotation with this cell and the one Matt showed to the north up towards Bean Station. That cell, extremely worrisome. Matt's going to focus on that one here in a minute. We've got two discrete, what we call supercells that have developed and have kind of held together that are showing concern across the area. And I'll show you a wider perspective of what we're talking about. It's these two cells, that one and this one. Those are the biggest concerns. This is just heavy rain. Here's my concern, though. The severe threat may be over with back here to the west, but these storms are moving in the same direction. It's moving over downtown. Flooding could certainly be a concern coming up in the next 30 to 45 minutes as these cells move over the same spot. Let's go back. We'll talk about these areas of rotation. Matt's going to focus the one here in a minute up by the lake. I want to focus on this one that continues to make its way right through East Knox County. There's East Knox. This is northern Sevier. So again, this is exit 407, the old Smoky Stadium right through here. This is where it's moving, Carter Community. So Carter Elementary, right about 9:36 the next few minutes. Make sure you're in your safe spot. Carter proper at 9:38 and the middle school the same time as well. Moving east-southeast, this cell is racing now 40 to nearly 50 miles per hour. We've seen it kind of hold on this trajectory. Again, it developed northeast of Nashville, came across the Plateau through Morgan County where it looked like it did touch down as an actual tornado. We had a debris signature show up on the radar itself. And we have had reports of damage south of the Sunbright area in Morgan County. You can see the lightning flashing here. That's our Embassy Suites hotel camera looking back towards the new stadium. So we're looking northeast of downtown. So we'd be looking basically back into this storm as it moves to the south and east. Still kind of holding that virtual threat index right at that 4.8 near 5. That's very worrisome. Here's some of the areas we're looking at. This is a T-dot near Kodak. You see the lightning flashing, so that's going to be getting close to the old Smoky Stadium. That's where that camera is as you get off to head towards Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, Gatlinburg area. Carter, 9:34, Underwood, 9:38, Kodak at 9:39, and the Beach Springs at 9:40. Still seeing maybe a little bit of rotation back towards Powell Middle as well. I'm a little more concerned, though, with this cell itself right through here. Go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Just heard from the National Weather Service, and their latest update from them is they have seen a debris signature in Granger County west of Bean Station. So if we can come back to me for just a second, we're going to talk about this storm. The National Weather Service says they're seeing a debris signature. It's going to be a bit more challenging to communicate exactly where this is because we're getting a bit too close to the radar. But the National Weather Service has said a debris signature was picked up on radar in Granger County west of Bean Station. That means a tornado is on the ground. You need to be taking tornado precautions at this hour if you live in Bean Station, if you live in the northern part of Granger County.
Yeah,
the radar has said
it would have been just south of the elementary school, and it would be tracking east now. It would be very close to Crosby, Cherokee Park, Timbercrest, in that area. So that was the debris signature. I know you can't go back, but I just did, and I looked, and you could see it pop up just south of Bean Station Elementary School with that cell.
Yeah, so we're still seeing the evidence of rotation. So, Ken, did you say, because one of the schools I was talking about, did you say Clinch Mountain School? Was that the one that you mentioned?
Bean Station Elementary
Bean
is where
Station
I
Elementary.
saw the debris signature just south and west of that.
Okay, so
where it says Beans, right there in the middle of the screen.
Right in this area. There we go. So here's the confirmed tornado warning. It's messy. We're getting close to the radar, but we're describing this as best as we can. Near Beans, near Clinch Mountain School. This area, a debris signature has been picked up. It is a confirmed tornado warning. There is a tornado on the ground at this hour in parts of Granger County. I need you to take tornado precautions. Lowest level, most interior room, a room with no windows. Be dressed appropriately, hard-sole shoes on, put your sneakers on, baseball helmet, bike helmet. Protect yourself as we have a confirmed tornado in effect and a tornado on the ground in parts of Granger County. This is right near Beans.
It's east of there now. It would be near Crosby. Focus on Russell Elementary, East Ridge Middle School, Needmore. It would be kind of in that area between Dover and Bulls Gap. It's hard to see. Again, it's so close to the radar, but that's where that debris signature tracked, right through there.
Yeah, so right in this area. And this storm, it continues to push south and east as well. So it's a confirmed tornado warning at this point. It does include parts of Hamblen County. If you live in Hamblen County, if you live in Morristown, I want you to pay attention to the storm system as it continues to push south and east. So we'll zoom back in here. trying to get you the best view I can. We'll go back and forth here. Still seeing evidence of rotation. So Kingswood Academy, Crosby, Cherokee Park, Indian Hills. I need you to be in your safe place at this hour. Need you to take tornado precautions. This is a confirmed tornado warning in effect for parts of Granger County. This is also headed towards East Ridge Middle School, Russellville Elementary School as well. So be taking tornado precautions if you live in this area. Confirmed tornado warning in effect. It does include southern portions of Hawkins County over towards Hamblen County, but that area of rotation, that debris signature that was picked up on radar was in parts of Granger County near Bean Station. So
yeah, so that's going to give us two for today at least.
Yeah.
The one you just showed there in Granger County, the one earlier in Morgan County, and this cell I'm continuing to track is the one that came from Morgan County and now making its way through East Knox near the Midway area and then tracking over into northern Sevier County. So there's Kodak down through Northview Elementary, Boyds Creek Elementary, and Catletsburg Elementary down through the Sevierville area. So this area, this is I-40 Midway Road. So right about through here, that's where the camera is. The worst part of this storm to the south. And Matt, now I'm starting to see the more extreme rotation right on the border between Knox and Sevier counties. So anywhere through here, please make sure you're in your safe spot. That includes Kodak, 943. Hey, if you're watching this, maybe you're in the Gatlinburg, Sevierville area. You're thinking, am I included? No, you're not at this point. There's downtown Gatlinburg. There's Dollywood Splash Country. There's Sevierville. So if you're in Gatlinburg, you're not included. If you're in Sevierville, you need to be in your safe spot, okay? So that's where this is tracking in this direction, basically coming out of East Knox County through northern Sevier County. This will track north of Gatlinburg the way it's looking right now, but it could impact downtown Sevierville. So please pay attention to this. If you see any of these names and you live near these, please get into your safe spot, okay? This storm, Union Valley, 939. This is the Kodak camera on I-40 from TDOT Smartway here on the other side of the screen here on your right-hand side. Hardin Academy, not Hardin Valley, that's West Knox County. This is Hardin Academy as we're going into now Sevier County. Boyds Creek and the elementary between 9 and 941. Kodak, 943, so that's going to be right through here. There's Kodak right through here. Northview Elementary at 943 and the middle school as well at 943 and Henry Crossroads at 945. So Sevierville would not be far from that either. It's moving very quickly at about 45 to near 50 miles per hour. So again, if you're watching, you're in Gatlinburg, you're okay. Down towards the park, you're okay. Sevierville, you need to be in your safe spot. This Cedar Bluff is not West Knox County. That's the Cedar Bluff that is in Sevier County. You need to be in your safe spot. So Catletsburg Elementary, Boyds Creek Elementary, Northview as well. And as Matt showed you that storm, we're going to be jockeying back and forth, but we need to focus on both of these. It looks like, is that, all right, so TDOT is basically looking over towards the new Buc-ee's over there. So they were focusing in on that. So that's exit 407. That's the camera there at I-40. So this is going to be right here. That's where that camera is located. So they're into the meat of that storm. Worst part of it is certainly down towards the south, the way it's looking, tracking between Sevierville and Kodak. So right there, as you're going down through the parkway, that's where the worst part of that storm would be. So again, it's near Seven Islands right about now. Boyds Creek and the elementary, 942, 943. Kodak at 945 and Northview Elementary at 945 as well. Again, seen the threat level come down just a little bit, but I still see some decent rotation with this storm that's been very impressive really throughout the evening. So right through here, between Boyds Creek and Northview Elementary is where that tightest rotation with that storm would be. Let me go back again to the west. These storms are not severe, but as I said, they're moving over the same areas. Flooding could be a big concern from Oak Ridge, Clinton, through downtown Knoxville, especially the north side, as we've seen this rain move over the same area time after time within the past hour or so. There's northern Sevier, there's Jefferson County. So this is I-40 where it takes the split, going over through Knox County, and then 81 going north. Matt, I want you to focus on that storm again, as well as it's coming northern sections of Hamlin County. We'll check in with him in just a minute, but I still want to focus on this storm that continues to make its way basically now out of Knox County. I would imagine they'll be dropping this part of the warning pretty soon and focusing just on northern Sevier, southern sections of Jefferson County, and northern or western sections of Knox County with this storm. So again, this warning basically goes until 9:45, another 5 minutes. We'll see if they decide to expand that. Matt, they just had an update that said that storm you were watching in Bean Station has dramatically weakened. Looks like the debris signature stopped around the 11W Highway 25 interchange. They're going to look at it for one more scan or so to see if they need to change that warning from a confirmed back to a tornado warning with a possible radar indicated tornado at this point. So Matt will continue to focus on that. I'm going to be watching this one again. This is the old Smoky Stadium right there at Kodak exit 407 as this is moving south. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, you are not included in this warning, but downtown Sevierville is. So Smoky Stadium, the old one, right about now at 9:43, Cook Mill at 9:46, and Dumplin Mill at 9:46 as well. Rapidly moving east-southeast at 47. Matt, do you have an update on that storm up there into Granger County for us?
Yeah, so the area of rotation would be right near Cherokee Lake at this hour. So as Ken mentioned, the National Weather Service reevaluating the confirmed tag on the warning, but still, if you are under this tornado warning, I need you to take your tornado precautions. This does head in the direction of Hamlin County. So your area of rotation starting to move from Granger County into Hamlin County, Morristown, you're included under this tornado warning. The confirmed tornado warning does continue until 10 o'clock Eastern time. So there's still plenty of time when this warning will still be in effect, but we'll watch it closely, especially as it traverses closer towards I-81. So at this point, the area of rotation back towards Crosby, Kingswood Academy, just a heads up, Russellville Elementary, if you live near that school, this is the area that's under that tornado warning. Need you to take your tornado safe spot. Needmore as well, East Ridge Middle School, also West Elementary School, up towards Hamlin County as these storms continue to push south and east. So we're watching this closely where we still have the area of rotation. Again, back into parts of Granger County, west of Bean Station, there was radar indicated debris signature. Likely we had tornado touchdown, producing some damage, and the radar picked up that damage because we're pretty close to the radar. The radar is based in Morristown. So this is where your area of rotation is, moving from Granger County into Hamlin County. Again, this tornado warning does include parts of Morristown. I want you to be in your safe place as well, and we'll continue to watch it as this storm continues to track towards Bulls Gap. Bulls Gap's not under the tornado warning at this point, but we'll watch it closely as this area of rotation continues to push to the south and east. So your area of rotation right in this area. Also heavy rain associated with this storm system as well. The potential's there for hail. This is the storm that produced large hail all the way back into Claiborne County. And the radar estimated at times, or we had hailstones over an inch and a half in diameter. So I haven't received any reports of hail through Claiborne County, but we'll watch for those as well. This storm's still likely producing some large size hail through parts of Granger County and also Hamlin County as well.
Just wanted to update. Looks like they're going to be extending this warning here in just a second. So southern Jefferson, Knox, northern Sevier, they're going to go until 10:30. There it is. So it's just updated. Makes sense. They're going to continue to follow this basically until it gets into the Smokies. So didn't mean to interrupt there, Matt, but again, until 10:30, they've extended this warning now. I'd say Knox County, for now, we are clear from the severe threat. My concern is going to be the rainfall that continues to move through the area. This video over here, this is Broadway down towards Adair. A lot of power outages in and around Knox County as this storm came through. So hopefully you're still being able to watch us, whether it's on your tablet, whether it's on your phone, or if you have a backup generator or you still have power across the area. Hopefully you're still able to watch us here on WATE. But boy, it was definitely some very strong winds that came through. Let's quickly look and see. We have 600 power outages so far reported in Knox and 100 up there into Claiborne County. I'm sure those numbers will grow. This is a live look. We're looking back towards the old ballpark. Looks like they turned off the lights there. We're looking back towards the north and east as that storm is exiting the area. So again, here is the latest for us. The new update extends the warning. Heavy rain's just my biggest concern. Seriously, some flooding. Probably, I still hear it pouring here on our roof. Let me just show you that quickly. The heavy rainfall that's been moving here over the same area. We call this training. Just think of it moving like down a train tracks, right? So all this rain still moving over the same area in a heavy populated, concrete laden area. We're going to start to see some street flooding here very soon in the Knoxville area if we aren't already. So we need to focus on this area. This is our crew. Okay, so is this live? Okay, just a few minutes ago. So this is the Fountain City area on Broadway. I see some power outages, but some other looks like some power on. Once you get to about the Kroger on Broadway, it looks like they came back on. So sporadic, so that would make sense. The 600 outages that we were showing just a minute ago with the power outages here in the Knoxville area. So here's the area we need to be watching still. New tornado warning goes again until 10:30. It's our policy. I know we're interrupting your evening programming, but this storm has already had a history of producing some damage back into Morgan County. We had another storm up into Granger County that looked like it did touch down and possibly produce some damage as well. So at least 2 tornadoes that we know of so far that we've actually seen debris signatures showing up on radar here this evening. This was that same cell that tracked all the way from northeast of the Nashville area across the Plateau, touched down in Morgan County, and still makes its way east through East Knox, now into portions of northern Sevier County, heading eastward over into Knox County as well. So this is I-40 heading over to the North Carolina side where it's been closed due to Helene, the rock slide, and the caved-in interstate there. So that's what we're talking about from Tryon to Newport, and there's Bird Crossroads. So if you see your community here showing up, you need to make sure you're in your safe spot until it kind of passes through the area. I would say Knox County, the severe threat over with. I'm just more concerned with the flooding that would be coming up here in the short term. Matt, did it look like they canceled that warning to the north, that tornado warning?
Yes, so they took down the confirmed tornado warning.
Okay.
They replaced it with a severe thunderstorm warning. So still, we'll watch this storm closely. As Ken mentioned a few minutes ago, the storm to the north that radar picked up that it did produce a tornado in parts of Granger County. It has weakened substantially, so the tornado warning has been canceled. Severe thunderstorm warning does continue for parts of Hamilton County, Greene County until 10:30 this evening. So still, we have the chance of heavy rain, large hail, and winds gusting upwards of 60 miles per hour. Of course, we're not seeing as strong a rotation as what we saw a few minutes ago, but we'll watch it closely. Keep in mind, though, good idea just to be inside, away from windows as this storm continues to push south and east. So Bulls Gap, you'll hear the pavement pounding rain within the next few minutes. This will go over I-81, likely resulting in some lower visibilities as that sheets of rain fall down. So at this point, moving through parts of Hamilton County, even some of Hawkins County, headed in the direction of Greene County. So Baileyton, Greenville, Mossheim, a chance of seeing this storm moving through the area, but also the tornado warning has been canceled for the storm to the north. We just have the severe thunderstorm warning now, but still, we'll take this storm seriously as it can produce large hail and also some very strong straight line winds. So at this point, we just have the 1 tornado warning that's in effect for areas to the south that we're watching closely. It's moving through parts of Sevier County at this hour, Knox County as well. Still seeing evidence of strong rotation right near the city of Sevierville. Also, that tornado warning does include southern Jefferson County. So Dandridge, you're under the tornado warning, but it does look like the strongest rotation mainly confined to parts of Sevier County at this hour. So Bird Crossroad, New Center Elementary, Cedar Bluff. You want to be taking tornado precautions if you live near those areas. Sunset Gap as well. And we'll head into Knox County. Newport, you're under the tornado warning. You want to be taking tornado precautions at this hour, as this is the cell that we've been tracking for several hours now. It did produce another radar confirmed tornado back in parts of Morgan County. So we don't have confirmation that a tornado is on the ground at this hour, but it has had evidence of extreme rotation with it at times, and we're still seeing that evidence of rotation near Sevierville, Union Hill, and again pushing south and east. So this is looking at the rotation, still seeing evidence of stronger rotation. We'll look at the reds and the greens as well. Still pretty close together, whether we could see that rotation that could produce a tornado as well. Briefly, we'll look at the hail path as well. Likely seeing hail all the way back again to Kodak, towards the Old Smoky Stadium, and into Knox County as well. This has been a really impressive storm. It's been a very strong storm, and it still is at this hour as it continues to traverse through East Tennessee, headed towards North Carolina. But at this point, we still have this active tornado warning in effect. It includes parts of Sevier County. Keep in mind, though, areas not under the tornado warning officially, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. So it's really Sevierville, Dandridge, and Endicott County. So Newport, Del Rio, Hartford, just keep in mind you're under that tornado warning. This warning goes all the way to the state line with North Carolina, and it does continue until 10:30. So we'll be here tracking the storm for several more minutes as it continues to move through East Tennessee. So Ken, let's toss it back on over to you.
Yeah, I want to focus on that one near Catlettsburg. That's the one you were focusing on. I've seen an uptick in the rotation there, maybe tightening up just a little bit. Also had a report earlier from a ham radio operator that several emergency vehicles were kind of heading from Sevierville back towards the Kodak area. That's all we have at this point, but we will check on that. We've got a crew checking on it, but this cell, same one, but it's kind of tightening back up. Again, we've seen that VTI, the virtual threat index, going back up. We saw it up to about a 4.8 as it made its way through Knox County, down to about a 2.9, now back up to a 3.5. What we do with that, again, we see basically it kind of strengthening, weakening as it's moving into different environments, but still should be enough fuel for this to survive basically until it gets into the Smokies area. So basically not getting any reports of damage from that area in Kodak, which is good. So that's good. But still, would not be surprised if we had some power outages or some trees down with this cell as it's made its way through northern Sevier, making its way. This is the Knox County border over here in Sevier County. So it's getting close to that border and making its way south and east. So here are some of the communities. Christian Academy of the Smokies right about 9:55 the next 3 minutes. Cedar Bluff, again, that's not West Knox County, that's in Sevier County, 9:59. An update, Richardson Cove at 10:02 and Bird Cross Road at 10:03. So again, it's impressive to see how this storm has held together all the way from Middle Tennessee across here in East Tennessee, and probably will cross the Smokies as well into western North Carolina and stay relatively intact the way it's looking. Looks like a new severe thunderstorm warning has come out. That's a little further north up towards the Tri-City. So this is kind of the main one we're still keeping an eye on, still showing some of that red or strong rotation within this cell. It's been very impressive staying together. Again, areas in Knox County, I want to focus back to the west for just a minute. A little less concerning other than the flooding potential. It has just been pouring here on our roofs. And again, you're moving, especially inside the 640 loop, there's a lot of population, there's a lot of concrete, there's a lot of asphalt. So that water is standing, pooling, or draining into low-lying areas. That certainly could be a concern as people are traveling here over the next several hours until this starts to move out of the region. But this is still the main cell that we're keeping an eye on that's right there north of downtown Sevierville as we speak. So right through there, there's Catlettsburg Elementary. This little indentation is where I would be most concerned. So north of downtown Sevierville, heads up New Center Elementary, Cedar Bluff, Bird Cross Road, right through there. That would be the area of biggest concern that I would have with that storm moving to the southeast. And again, nearly 50 miles per hour, so it's moving very quickly at this point. And it looks like we've had some hail with this as well, pretty decent size hail. This is from the past hour, and you can see that track of hail, maybe some 1 inch in diameter or larger hail with this cell as well as it's moved through. And that has been the case over the past hour, as you can see from the Clinton area through North Knox and all the way back down south of Dandridge near the lake as this is moving to the south and east. Looks like that little circular skit, we call it, just disappeared across the area. What happens often, you'll see where it's working to find where the worst part of the storm is. So right now, southern Jefferson, northern sections of Sevier County is kind of where the worst part of this storm is, making its way south and east. So there's the Jefferson, Sevier, and Knox County border. So right where they come together is exactly about where this is going to be tracking over. And there's I-40 again headed down towards the Cosby area. So here are some communities again: 10 o'clock, Chestnut Hill, Maple Spring, 10:05, Sunset Gap around 10:07. And again, this warning goes until 10:30. By then, it's probably into the Smokies, and we'll probably be able to go back to regular programming and then join you at WATE 6 on your side news at 11 coming up. But we'll still focus on this. There's still an active tornado warning for our viewing area that goes for at least another 30 minutes or so. We'll see how quickly this progresses across the region. It won't take long. We've seen it move very quickly, 40 to 45 mile per hour forward speed, and that's been pretty consistent over the past couple of hours. Now, one thing I want to point out, I showed you there's that possibility of hail, 100% chance that there's hail, and it's saying maybe up to 1 3/4 inch diameter. That may be a little large, but I wouldn't be surprised if we had some 1/4 inch or 1 inch diameter hail with this storm. In fact, as I showed you that path over the past hour, that's been pretty consistent there from the old Smoky Stadium all the way to where this is now, north of New Center Elementary. But probably the biggest concern, obviously, is going to be the rotation that we've seen with this and the possible tornado. Again, radar indicated at this point, but this same cell has had that history that produced the tornado back into Morgan County earlier as it's sliding towards the south and east. Matt, anything else update-wise that you have for us? I know you've been talking with the Weather Service as well, but what about elsewhere? I know I've been focusing on this storm, but anything else kind of that we've seen across our area?
Yeah, so we have this tornado warning still in effect for parts of Sevier, Jefferson, and Knox County. But let me zoom back out to the north. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, this was the same cell we've been talking about all night long, potentially produced some pretty large hail through parts of Claiborne County. Also, the tornado in Granger County. It's not as strong as it was. Now, it's still going to have a chance to produce 60 mile per hour winds, so we'll take that very seriously, but it doesn't have the rotation as it did earlier. So this one has been on a weakening trend the last couple of scans, so we'll take it, but we'll continue to monitor because there's still that environment out there for a storm to pulse up pretty quickly, like we've seen with several of the other storms that we've been tracking all night long. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warning. We likely have very heavy rain on just the other side of I-81, starting to move from Hamlin County into Greene County. So Bulls Gap, likely already hearing rain. If not, just wait in the next few minutes. And then that will continue to trek south and east. So Greenville, you'll tap into the storm system, but at this point, still a severe thunderstorm. Goes until 10:30. The main concern would be the large hail and also the strong winds that it can produce, but just not seeing that evidence of the stronger rotation like we did earlier. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still weak rotation with this storm system. We will continue to monitor, but at least it has been on a downward trend the last couple of scans, but we still have some time. It still has an environment to strengthen up, and we still have a few more minutes as the storm continues to traverse parts of Greene County at this hour. So we'll watch that one closely. But the main concern at this point is the storm to the south that's still prompting a tornado warning at this hour. Let me zoom back out and just double check. Okay, so if you have family up towards the Tri-Cities, the National Weather Service has just issued a tornado warning up towards Kingsport. That's outside of our viewing area. We won't focus on that one, but if you do have family up towards the Tri-Cities, you might want to give them a heads up that a new tornado warning has just been issued for that area as well. We're going to focus in to the one that's impacting our viewing area, parts of Sevier County, Jefferson County, Knox County as well. So just a heads up, looks like they just trimmed the warning back. So you're in the clear at this point from the threat of a tornado back towards the Old Smoky Stadium, Northview Middle School, and back towards Kodak, Knox County as well, cleared from the tornado warning. So the main focus is what's ahead of this storm. So Newport and Knox County, Del Rio, Hartford, Bell Hill School as well, Cosby Elementary, and then I-40 running through Knox County as well. I need you to take tornado precautions as this storm system continues to track towards your area. Again, this tornado warning does continue until 10:30, so we have 30 more minutes for it. It will cross the border into North Carolina eventually, but we're going to have to watch it closely as it continues to move through our area here in Tennessee. So the area of rotation is right near Bird Crossroad at this hour. Still seeing evidence of potentially strong rotation as this tornado warning continues. So Sunset Gap, I need you to be in your tornado safe place as well as this storm, again, continues to traverse through the area. Yeah, Ken.
I'll let you continue to focus on that, but we're just now getting some video back from Dominic Webster, our photographer reporter. This is Morgan County. Okay, Morgan County Highway is closed. We're getting multiple reports of extensive damage. Okay, police are saying extensive damage, power lines down, trees down there in the Morgan County area. I'm sure we'll have a little bit more with Dominic here coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. Again, if you don't have to go out, please don't. Hopefully you have cell service that if you are in need, you can make calls. I know emergency management, sheriff's offices, they've been trying to get out to some of these areas to check on people. Be patient. I'm sure there are some power outages. I'm sure there are some power lines. Again, this is the same cell that made its way through Morgan County, okay? That's why we're staying on the air. We've already had reports of damage with that cell in Morgan County. We've also had a different cell that was in Granger County that we've had some reports of damage as well. Saw a debris signature show up on radar with both of these different cells. So that's why we're taking this very seriously and interrupting regular programming. It's 10 o'clock now. You're watching WATE 6 on your side news here in Knoxville, continuing coverage of tornadoes, ongoing tornado warnings across the area. This is the latest one we have at this point, the only tornado warning that we have in our viewing area. There's one in the Tri-Cities, but the only one in our viewing area, just about to make its way out of Sevier County, southern Jefferson County, and right on the Knox County border. So it's right in that Tri-County area, moving south and east, heading towards the I-40 corridor. It's going to move perpendicular right into I-40, kind of north of the Cosby area. So we're looking at Maple Spring right about now, English Creek 10:11, Cosby Elementary and High School at 10:13, and the Edwina community at 10:14, the way it's going. Areas back towards the west. Don't know, Matt. I want you to keep an eye on that one that's between Austin East and downtown, if you don't mind, real quick. Matt's going to be checking on that.
Not seeing anything concerning at this point, but we'll watch it.
Okay, check the shear rate on it, though, if you don't mind. Notice between, again, right there, southern Jefferson, eastern Sevier, and the western side of Knox County, kind of right where they come together. That's where the worst part of this storm would be. So Sunset Gap at Carson Spring around 10:08, the next 6 minutes. Cosby Elementary and High School at 10:13. There's Denton at 10:13 as well, and Bat Harbor at 10:14. Looks like maybe a little bit less rotation in this last updated scan. Don't want to let our guard down, though. We still have at least another 27 minutes for this tornado warning. We'll see, but I wouldn't be surprised if that even got extended a little further, especially through Knox County until it gets into the Smokies and out of our viewing area over into western North Carolina. But at this point, this is the main thing we're watching. Again, I do want to stress, though, heavy rainfall we're still seeing in Knoxville. That's the TDOT SmartWay camera, it looks like over there. That's Hall of Fame, so through the downtown area. Just copious amounts of rain moving over the same areas. Easily could lead to some flooding over the next little bit if we're not seeing it already, okay? So just be careful. That's our live TDOT SmartWay, or excuse me, that's a Embassy Suites camera looking back towards the east right now. So this storm, again, as I mentioned, it's come down a little bit, maybe a little less concerning rotation compared to just about 10 minutes ago, but not ready to let our guard down just yet. Still a high probability we have some hail, at least I'd say a quarter in diameter, or 25-cent piece, or 1 inch in diameter. It's definitely had a history of it over the past hour. This storm has tracked, again, all the way back from Morgan County, where we had the damage, through Anderson, Knox, and down through portions of Jefferson, northern Sevier, and now into Knox County. That's where this storm continues to move at this point. And still, again, at least some type of rotation showing up with this cell as it's moving off towards the south and east. So Knox County, heads up, it's heading your way. Pleasant Grove around 10:10, Bat Harbor 10:13, Ben Hill School and Davis School right around 10:15 as this continues to move towards the south and east. Matt, anything else that you've seen out there that we need to be paying attention to?
No, at this point, our main focus should continue to be exactly where you're looking, through parts of Sevier County and Knox County as well.
Okay, so I'm going to continue to focus on this. We just don't want to miss anything else by staying so focused on this area. But this, as he said, he didn't see anything else surrounding us that was severe, of big concern, mainly just heavy rainfall and maybe some small hail. But at this point, this is probably our main concern. Now, it looks like it may have gone back up a little bit, strengthening. Maybe just a little bit recycling, gone from a 2.5 to a 2.8. Again, that's what we call a virtual threat index. We've seen this getting close to 5 earlier. Anything over 5 is certainly a concern, but you mainly want to focus on that to see if it's going up or down, to see if this storm continues to increase or decrease in strength. It looks like it may be recycling once again because we didn't have a line of thunderstorms that came through that basically fed and ate up all the energy available for these storms. We've had individual cells, and they kind of feed on that surrounding air. And then as they get further to the east and southeast, like we've seen, they continue to feed off that air that has been untouched. And that's why this cell has basically lasted from middle Tennessee all the way almost to the Smokies as we speak over the past 3.5 hours that we've been watching this cell. So again, Lick Log around 10:12, Bat Harbor 10:13, and Ben Hill School around 10:15. So that's making its way into Knox County. There's Edwina, there's Denton, Davis School, Ben Hill, Grassy Fork Elementary. You need to make sure you're in your shelter as this storm continues to move south and east. So I'd say at this point, Sevier County, we're in the clear in the sense that the severe threat is over with, but still some very heavy rainfall back towards East Knox County, up near the Kodak area. Sevierville is okay. Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. If you're visiting here, you're okay for now. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if some of this rain moves in over the next couple of hours and you see some heavy rainfall. But the main severe threat still with this storm about to cross over Interstate 40, making its way into Knox County. So we'll see if they trim this warning back a little bit to take out Jefferson and northeast Sevier County as this storm continues to push east right along the I-40 corridor. So there are your communities updated there, moving east-southeast at about 45 miles per hour, the way it's looking. Don't see anything else updated-wise from the Weather Service. This officially goes for another 23 minutes. So we will continue to stay on this. I want to look just to see if we have seen, still seeing, again, right in that area, at least the possibility of some decent rotation, some strong rotation showing up. The one up into Granger County right before it produced that debris signature, Matt was seeing extreme rotation showing up. So our computer here has done a fantastic job pointing that out, showing some of those anomalies here on the radar across the area this evening. So again, probably over exaggerating the hail size here, but 100% chance that we are seeing hail. I'd say it's about 1 inch to maybe 1.5 inches in diameter, so maybe $half size. That wouldn't surprise me. Are we seeing 2¼ inch? That's pretty large. You're talking about getting close to tennis ball size or just under that. A little bit bigger than ping pong ball or golf ball, so I don't think we're quite to that point. But still impressive to see that. And again, we showed you that basically has tracked all the way across the area this evening. But again, another update. Looks like maybe we've lost a little bit more of that strong shear, but still seeing moderate shear showing up as it's starting to cross Interstate 40. What do we mean by shear? We're talking about changing wind direction with height, right? You don't want to see it go counterclockwise with height because that helps aid in the development, rising air that can help it spin and eventually possibly produce a tornado. And that's kind of really what we've seen throughout the evening is that shear, that strong rotational change in direction of winds with height. And that's going to continue right through the next couple of hours, really, until these last little bit of cells make their way through. And then we will have used up a lot of the energy from the atmosphere from this afternoon. It was warm. We hit low 70s. We had some sunshine across the area. That destabilized or added fuel to the atmosphere, and these storms have used up a lot of that, making their way through. But still watching this one. Again, officially this goes until another 21 minutes for Knox County. I'd say it's clear at this point for Jefferson County, northern Sevier County. I'd say the worst part is out and about to cross Interstate 40 at this point. Matt, what other storm opportunities do we have across the area? I see that warning up to our north, and it looks like what they were going to do, they probably extended this now to a severe thunderstorm warning on the North Carolina side, which is telling me maybe they think this cell is weakening a bit as well, losing some of that rotational characteristic as it makes its way out of Knox County and eventually moving over into the North Carolina side. But I still see at least some rotation, especially right near the I-40 corridor, Matt.
Yeah, and we can also zoom out for just a minute to give everyone a better picture as to what's going on beyond Sevier and Knox County. So at this point, we still have some heavy rain, even back to the west, through parts of Roane County and even Knox County into Anderson County. So Ken mentioned it earlier, and maybe you missed it as whenever you tuned in, but we will watch the potential for some flooding issues as well. We've received a lot of rain in a fairly short amount of time, so we'll be watching that closely as the rain continues to push through the area. So it's still a bit soggy, even beyond where that tornado warning is still in effect, still dealing with rain and downpours through Knox County up towards Clinton and Oak Ridge, Harriman and Kingston, still hearing some rain as well. Let me just zoom up to areas to the north and east into Greene County, where we still have that severe thunderstorm warning. It continues until 10:30 tonight. This storm has also been weakening as well, but we still have the chance of some damaging winds, large hail as well, and also the heavy rain and frequent rumbles of thunder and lightning. We can look at the rotation, see how most of it's gone at this point. So rotation, gone away with that storm. We still have the severe thunderstorm warning, so of course we will monitor that storm. So we have those two warnings in our area. Yes, there is still a tornado warning for some of the area outside of our viewing area towards the Kingsport, Johnson City areas. So we will monitor that storm, but that one's outside of our viewing area. So we're watching the severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Greene County and also still this tornado warning that's still in effect for Knox County. And as Ken mentioned, the strongest part of the storm, mainly in parts of Knox County right now, actually approaching I-40 at this hour. And just some estimated times of arrival for you towards Allen Grove at 10:16 and Hartford at 10:21 and approaching the North Carolina border. So we will be done with the storm soon, but just not quite yet. I want you to still be in your safe spot through parts of Knox County where we still have the chance at some rotation. So this is a rotation detector. We can look at the different values of the radar to see we're still seeing the reds and the greens come together near Cosby Elementary, near Bell Hill School, Davis School as well, and right near I-40. So I just want you to be in the safest place possible as we still have this storm that is capable of producing a tornado. And this is actually the storm that had a history of producing a tornado back across Morgan County earlier in the evening. So just want you to be in the safest place, and we'll continue to walk you through this storm. So we still have evidence of potentially rotation with the storm system. Tornado warning again continues until 10:30, but at this point the rotation's in Knox County, so doing better for folks who are in Sevier County and Jefferson County as well. Rotation, it's still there. It's on the weak side, and looks like they have trimmed the tornado warning as well. So you're all in the clear outside of the tornado warning, Jefferson County. So Dandridge, you're good to go. Fine to go to sleep. And also in Sevier County, all set with the tornado warning. The tornado warning is just in effect for Knox County, and again, it does continue until 10:30 this evening. So really areas south of Newport, unfortunately, a tornado warning in effect for some of the folks that were hardest hit by Hurricane Helene back in the fall. But Del Rio, you need to be in your tornado safe spot, as well as folks living closer towards I-40 as well. As we get more scans, still seeing evidence of rotation. So close to Bell Hill School as well. So right along the interstate right now is where that chance at some rotation would be. And again, still seeing the reds and the greens coming together, and also a lot of heavy rain with this storm system as well. And the chance for some hail as well. You're seeing the pink shading here. That would be the hail core for that storm, and the radar's picking up on the potential for some large hail as well. So hail, wind, the potential for a quick spin-up tornado, all with this storm system as it continues to traverse through East Tennessee. At this point, impacting Knox County, especially for folks south of the Newport area, where we still have this tornado warning in effect for roughly 15 more minutes. But areas back to the west, you're not under any other warnings. All the warnings have been canceled, but we still have the heavy rainfall. So we'll continue to monitor the flood risk, especially for areas still dealing with heavy rain after the rain moved through earlier tonight. So we still have this tornado warning. We'll continue to monitor it. It's not as strong as it was. We'll take it. That's some good news there. But again, just want you to be in the safest place possible, and it would only be for a few more minutes, and then we'll be all set to just return to normal operations. So we still have the tornado warning for parts of Knox County, still have the severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Greene County, but as we can see, not as strong as it was, but still, this was the storm that produced hail. Even the hail that's estimated by the radar isn't even as high as what it was, say, back closer towards Campbell and Claiborne counties, where it was picking up on some larger size hail. So we still have this severe thunderstorm warning. So to be clear, 2 warnings in effect. One is a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Greene County that also is set to expire in 15 minutes. And we have the tornado warning for areas to the south in Knox County, where we still have heavy rain and the potential for a quick spin-up tornado. Let me zoom back in just because as we get more scans, catches your attention, potentially some stronger rotation, could be strengthening. That virtual threat index is at a 3. So again, these storms have been pulsing up and pulsing down all night long. Want you to be in your safe place as this storm still is capable of producing a tornado. So just some estimated times of arrival by Davis School at 10:19, Raven Branch by 10:20, Grassy Fork 10:22, and Reed Hill School by 10:22 as well. So this will be for folks, again, really on the southern part of Knox County. Yeah, Ken.
Most likely some very large hail with that as well. That cell that's in Knox County, you can see likely we're seeing some hail with that. And the swath that you showed earlier looks like, yeah, we've seen that path basically continue from Morgan, Knox, Anderson County all the way through Jefferson. And the darker the shading here, that almost purple into black, yeah, probable to likely we're seeing hail. And as he showed you on the track there, looks like maybe some 1.5 inches, showing estimates of 2-inch hail. I think that's a little on the large side, but wouldn't be surprised if we had some 1.5 inch size hail. One thing that I've been keeping an eye on is this cell that's right on the Knox Sevier County border, so it's just south of the I-40 area. A little bit of a notch on it, worth watching. Nothing too alarming right now, but there is at least some rotation with it as it's crossing out of Knox into Sevier County. So just something I want to keep an eye on. But at this point, the only real issue that we have is with this cell that's quickly exiting Knox County. And again, the warning here goes until 10:30, so another 13 minutes. But like I mentioned, behind that, we're still seeing the potential for some extremely heavy rainfall. This has all been moving over the same areas. Would not be surprised if we already have some flooding in some area neighborhoods, low-lying ravines, areas with a lot of concrete and asphalt just because of all this heavy rain that's been moving through the same areas. But at this point, this is the only active warning we have, Matt. Goes for a little bit longer, was at 10:30. I believe it is for Knox County.
Some context to that storm as well as it continues to push to the east. Morgan County, that's where we had that radar confirmed tornado. THP has sent a strike team to Morgan County. So our reporter Dominic Webster is in Morgan County gathering information for us. We are going to focus on the active tornado warning that's in effect right now, but don't worry, we will get as much information as we can in parts of Morgan County where we know damage has occurred from a tornado. We'll get that information for you, especially coming up at 11 during our newscast. But for now, we'll focus on the most immediate situation in Knox County from the same storm that produced that tornado back in parts of Morgan County. So likely an active situation in parts of Morgan County tonight, Ken.
Yeah, Matt, you talked about, we've been talking about the hail as well. I just saw a picture from emergency manager in Jefferson County. It was bigger than a silver dollar piece. I'd guess maybe an inch and a half, inch and 3/4 diameter, pretty large hail, and that was in the Kodak area about 25 minutes ago, so with this same cell. So again, our radar program here estimating 2-inch in diameter, maybe it's not too far off. Maybe some inch and a half, that wouldn't surprise me, but we're talking silver dollar size hail. That's pretty large, especially for February, right? We're not even in a spring month. It just shows you, again, severe weather can happen any time of the year, and it is. But again, a little bit longer, another 10 minutes. We stay on until the tornado warning expires or the threat is over. We still think there is a threat, which is why we're staying on the air. But when this warning expires, we will go back to regularly scheduled programming unless another warning pops up. Otherwise, we will see you at 11 o'clock tonight for 6 News at 11. We will hopefully have a live report from Morgan County as well. But again, still moving east-southeast at 45 miles per hour through Knox County. At least some inch, maybe inch and 3/4 size hail. That's pretty impressive. But here are some of the communities which could be impacted by this storm. So Grassy Fork Elementary at 10:23. Grassy Fork itself at 10:25, Reed Hill and the school area there at 10:45 as well. And this is the border, by the way, between western North Carolina and Knox County here in East Tennessee. So not much longer before this storm moves out. But the Wasp community, Bluff, Hot Springs, Luck, Big Pine, that is over into the western North Carolina side. And they went ahead and basically just changed it or issued a severe thunderstorm warning with that. Expecting this cell to continue to weaken some, but it could respawn as it gets on the other side of the Smokies. But for now, they will most likely just let this go ahead and expire. We've got another 10 minutes for this warning here in Knox County, but looks like it's just to the southeast of Ben Hill School in the Finney Patch area. So it looks like Blue Mill 10:27, Boomer 10:30, Wasp would be on the other side of the Smokies there in western North Carolina at 10:31, as are these others, Ebbs Mill, Bluff, and Spring Creek. So again, just a couple more minutes, 10 more minutes, and that warning will expire. Wanted to show you again just some of the heavy rainfall that we've had in and around Knox County. This has been impressive rain over the past hour. It's really not moved much. We call this training, where the cells move over the same areas like they're moving down a railroad track, right? So we've seen heavy rainfall, especially the northern half of Knox County, kind of like along and north of I-40. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some 2-inch plus rain totals with this. So that's another thing I want to focus on as we go over the next couple of hours, the potential for some very heavy rainfall. But that's TDOT Smart Way camera. That's Interstate 40 and 640 on the east side over there as you get towards the new Amazon plant, kind of heading out through East Knox County as you go back towards Midway, Carter, and head into the northern Sevier County or near Kodak. So that would be heading in that direction. That's just showing still all this very heavy rainfall making its way through. Now, we are seeing a little bit of a break in that steadier rainfall. Anderson County near Clinton, that's dropping southward. So it's good to see that we are seeing some of this steadier, heavier rain drop off to the south. It's just going to take a little bit of time before it does, and that's why we're concerned with that flooding aspect. One more quick little update here for you. Again, there's the tornado warning for Knox County moving quickly. It's not going to be around much longer in our viewing area before it's out. Looks like it's near London at 10:28, Boomer 10:32, and then it's on the other side of the Smokies after about 10:30, and that's basically when this warning expires. So good timing there with this warning by the Weather Service. Heavy rainfall, easily going to be some hail with this, as we talked about. Maybe quarter size now. It looks like it's come down a little bit in intensity, which is good. So we're starting to see that cell weaken a little bit as well. We've not had any reports in the short term of this cell touching back down, producing a tornado as it's made its way across I-40 in Knox County and eastward, which is good, but we still don't want to let our guard down just yet until it pushes clear out of our area. But again, just follow these communities here. If you see yours listed, just make sure you're in your safe spot. Areas to the west of I-40, I think we're clear from the tornado threat, but still, as I showed you, very heavy rainfall threat, some flooding, and you could see some additional small hail with some of these storms as they continue to move through. I mean, I'm still hearing very heavy rainfall right over our roof here as these storms continue to move through the same area. So it's a lot of rainfall across the area. So again, We were just talking about that storm I showed you back a little further to the west near Midway in East Knox County. Weather Service kind of agreed it didn't look quite as impressive as earlier, and I agree. It kind of came out of the Midway area through Kodak. Still some heavy rain, but it's kind of worked through an area that has already been worked over, right? That area has had a lot of the fuel used up from the cell that moved through earlier as it came through. So heavy rainfall, maybe some small hail with that, but I think that severe threat pretty much over with, basically west of what we're seeing right now. So still very impressive hail responses with this. And again, had that report near Kodak earlier of some hail that was about the size of a silver dollar size hail. Very impressive there near Smoky Stadium. And the camera you're seeing over here on the other side, that's the TDOT SmartWay camera right there at 407, the way it is. And yeah, if you look carefully, you'll see some standing water there, especially in the median. So not surprising. Hard to believe, again, we're in drought situations across the area, but again, long-term drought. Takes a long time to get in, takes a long time to get out. But the rainfall tonight and the rainfall we're expecting as we head into next week certainly is going to make an impact with that across the area. Still impressive, we're watching it. Again, that virtual threat index back up, it's back to about a 4.5. So still the possibility at any point we could see this touchdown. So if you're east of the Ben Hill School area, I still want you to make sure you're in your safe spot. I would say, again, if you're west of I-40, Cosby, you're in the clear from this severe threat. Still could be some very heavy rainfall, though. Again, 5 more minutes, and then we're going to let you go back to regular scheduled programming. So guys upstairs, ladies upstairs, make sure we're preparing for that, and we'll send it back to regular scheduled programming in just a couple of minutes. But I want to wait this out just to make sure, because again, still impressive that the hail opportunity may have come down a little bit, the size of the hail, but still seeing at least some rotation with this. Very broad compared to what it was earlier, but worth watching as the storm continues to move very quickly to the east. Yeah, it's very broad compared to where it was just a little while ago. Let's do a quick little recap across the area. Again, this is basically going to be it for the night. If you're north of I-40, severe threat's over with. In fact, most of the rain threat is over with. But I-40 south and west, I think the severe threat is done. But still could be some heavy rainfall, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but this will continue to drop south and eastward over the next couple of hours. And we had said earlier today, maybe by about midnight, the main threat, I'd say, of the heavy rain has moved out. Still think that will hold true. Certainly the severe threat will be over with by 11 o'clock tonight once this cell moves out, but still could be some heavier rainfall and flooding. So if you're basically going to be out this evening over the next couple of hours, if you're heading into work somewhere or just have to travel, be careful, watch for that flooding aspect in the area. But one last little quick update with this cell. It's just about to make its way into the Smokies. Matt's continuing to keep an eye on some of those storms as well. There are a couple of warnings up towards the Tri-Cities. These are not in our viewing area, but if you know anybody, again, from Johnson City to Bristol, kind of right along 81, I'm sure they're our sister station, WJHL, covering that as well up there. But this is kind of the last gasp of our storms, just about to make its way out. Boy, that is interesting right there, that little area, that little piece right there, kind of on the hook. Would not be surprised if maybe a little bit of a circulation there. That's interesting little appendage there. Not there on this last scan. So again, hard to tell, especially at night. You're not going to see it. It's moving into a less populated area. We're getting to the higher elevations of the Smokies. This pinkish into the black shading, that's where our hail core would be. Certainly some large hail, maybe 1 inch in diameter, possible with this as it continues to make its way off towards the east. And this storm is racing again off to the east, still at about 45 miles per hour. This is that same cell that tracked again all the way across Middle Tennessee. I want to take you back just a couple of hours and show you what we were talking about with this cell. This is the same one that I followed basically west of Cookeville before we went on the air at 7 o'clock for the 7. And then we watched the cell make its way through Morgan County, and it was right about there that we actually saw what we call a debris signature. Right there, you see that bright blue that showed up. So right there is where the touchdown would have occurred and we saw the debris being lofted into the air. So again, to kind of put that in perspective, it was probably somewhere between Deer Lodge, Annandale, and Sunbright. I'd say probably south of the Sunbright area. I'd put it between Deer Lodge and Annandale. And with some of the reports that we've had, that kind of correlates exactly where that tornado would have touched down, where we would have had that potential for debris. But I wanted to show you that same storm is the one that has tracked all the way across our area, which is why we've stayed on the air. Haven't had any other reports of that cell touching down. We have had some, wind damage, some power outages in and around Knox County, but this cell is just about to make its way completely out of East Tennessee now over into western North Carolina. Is the last little bit of that storm is making its way over into western North Carolina. This officially expires here in 1 minute, and when it does, we will send you back to regular scheduled programming. But I wanted to just do a quick update for you. We do have still numerous power outages being reported, more than 1,500 in Knox, 900 in Morgan, 200 in Fentress, 400 in Granger, and 200 in Claiborne County as these storms have made through the area. Quickly, we'll take a look at some hail that we have, some hail video from the New Tazewell area. This would have been the cell that Matt was tracking that actually did end up producing a tornado. That was about 10, it is 10:30 now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're going to have more coming up obviously tonight at 11 o'clock on WATE 6 on Your Side News. This warning just expired, so no active warnings in our viewing area as we speak. Thank you for being with us. We will see you back tonight at 11 o'clock for a complete update, but now we'll go ahead and send you back to regular scheduled programming.
Severe weather alert from Storm Team 6. We now return to regular programming already in progress.